CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Live from the Ingle studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dog see! Let him on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God. The Jets killed him.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400, and the Sportsocracy heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app. We're seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, join us in the chat for this
Overreaction Monday.
It's a little delayed. Are you not revved up about today? Because we got a lot to be revved up about.
Do we?
I mean,
or do we have a lot to be revved up about, or do we have a lot of things that people are revved up about? Because this kind of feels like a microcosm of the world. I'm angry, but should you be? Because I don't think you should.
You don't think they should be. Look, every decision that gets made in the world of sports has its detractors. College football playoff madness aside,
well, I mean, look,
you still have probably the biggest news that we'll have this month coming down at some point today, that Bill Belichick is going to college.
I really hope that it happens in this show. Like, I'm very, very committed to I want to see that.
Well, it's been supposed to happen for the last 3 days. At any moment, the talks are ongoing. They're getting close. All of this language has been used about the Bill Belichick situation with the North Carolina Tar Heels. So, obviously, if the news breaks on that, we will break in with it. I'll do my little dance.
You don't have to.
And get down tonight.
You really don't have to. No one asked, and we're good.
Week 14 in the NFL. Almost in the books. We got Monday Night Football.
Hey, we got the Simpsons game tonight. Won't that be fun?
Oh, that's tonight? Okay, all right. We'll see what kind of frivolity that is.
Yeah, I have to wash my hair. I'm good. Watching two teams that have a better chance of making the college football playoffs than the NFL playoffs. I think I'm fine.
Not interested in tonight's game. Okay, all right. We'll give you the picks for tonight's game coming up later on in the program.
The winner tonight, those of you who don't watch it.
Kansas City Chiefs are at it again. I guess that's where we should start today on an Overreaction Monday. This is the same cycle that we go through year after year after year with the Kansas City Chiefs. Mm-hmm. Are they as good as their 12-1 record? They're 12-1 and they keep beating everybody, regardless of whether it makes much sense or not. How you get to the final destination. The final destination is always the same, generally speaking. The Kansas City Chiefs are going to get the better out of you in every game. It does not matter.
The NFL has become eerily like college football. There are a handful of teams that do not have to play particularly well to beat the rest of you. There are only a handful of you that can beat these teams on your best day. If you have a less than awesome day, it brings in a few more. See Los Angeles Rams. What more did Josh Allen have to do there? Just in theory.
Couldn't have done much more.
We're going to talk about that later, too. We do this every year. If you're following us on social media, which you should be, because I post a lot of funny things on there, and sometimes I have to condemn the public school system of an entire state for 2 full days. Talking to you, Alabama. I posted a graphic that basically said this is a timeline of where we all live with Kansas City Chiefs. Because it's the same vicious cycle every year. Oh, the officials are in the bag for Kansas City. Or let me propose a dissenting hypothesis. Maybe they're just better than you, and the officials, who are human people, look at certain plays and go, I don't know exactly what happened right there, but tie goes to the better, and the better's in red. So, flag. Because that does happen. Guys get reputations for being a little grabby. Teams get reputations for they don't make a lot of mistakes, and Kansas City doesn't. I don't think this team does a crazy amount of things well, but they don't do anything poorly. And last night, they dominated the Chargers for the entire first half.
Yes.
Chargers came out after halftime. I don't know if old Khakis had a rousing halftime speech or what that was, but they came out and looked vaguely competent in the beginning of the second half, and yet at no point did I ever think they were beating Kansas City. Really, the only question I had was, are you going to cover or not? Did I sum that up about right?
And did they? I don't remember what the spread was on that.
I don't believe they did. I don't know what it ended at.
It's so frustrating for the rest of us to look at Kansas City and keep coming out on the winning side of all of these games. What was this, like the 10th or 12th straight one-score game that they had won?
15th.
15th
NFL record.
Yeah.
15th consecutive game they have won. It was a one-score game.
Sometimes they get lucky breaks, right? And maybe there's something
But is it not ironic to somebody, to people that say, oh, they catch all the breaks? Why do you think that is? Have you ever noticed that your buddy that works really hard and he's kind of good looking and he's funny and he's smart, you ever notice that he always gets the women? Is it just because he must know the perfect place to go? Bro, he picked one up at the dump one day. Because that's what happens when you're really good at what you do.
Yeah.
When you're really attractive and you've got your life together, it's not necessarily all that hard. You know who it's hard for? Captain Sweatpants that lives in his mom's basement and eats Funyuns and Cheetos and Chef Boyardee lasagna all day.
Yeah.
That guy can't figure out how anybody's getting any. Because he couldn't do it with a pocket full of hundies and a shotgun. Because you're a loser. There are certain teams, New York Jets, and the other team in New York. You're losers. Kansas City's not. That's a well-run organization from top to bottom. And weird. Yeah, they do catch some breaks. Weird. They've had 4 kickers this year. You know what they've yet to do? Lose a game because of a kicker. I'm sure that's just an accident, though. I'm sure they're just getting lucky. New York Giants can't kick a field goal from 30 yards. Kansas City can. And it doesn't really matter whose foot it is.
No, it doesn't. This is the third time this season that a different kicker has kicked a game-winning field goal for them. That's also a new record. That had never happened twice in a season before this year's Kansas City Chiefs, and now they've done it 3 times.
And 2 of the kickers that have won games for them played games in the last calendar year for the New York Jets and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Sometimes better organizations just find ways to win games. And when you're in these tight situations, who else would you want on your side other than Andy Reid?
I go back to a very basic tenet, and I've said this on this show before. My father told me this my entire childhood. Winners win and losers lose. Kansas City Chiefs are winners. And weird, they keep finding ways to win. Now is what I'm going to say to all of you that are fans of the Buffalo Bills, that are fans of the Baltimore Ravens, the Detroit Lions, the Philadelphia Eagles. You're already down 3. Whoever has to try to knock them off, you're down 3 before you ever got on the field. And I could actually say you're down 6 because you're going to be playing in their stadium unless we're talking about in the Super Bowl. Because they're going to have home field in the AFC. That was basically clinched this weekend.
Yes. They got a full 2-game lead now.
Yes. You're going to have to deal with the fact that you don't just have to beat them, you have to thoroughly beat them. Because, yes, they are going to get calls. I'll give you a point of reference. We all have that person in our lives that just can't seem to get it right. They get fired from jobs a lot. Their relationships end, and they always have an excuse. Every single time it's an excuse, and it's never you. There are probably times that it's not you. But when loser Daryl shows up to work and goes, I can't believe Brandy Tammy Lynn Smith was as crazy as she was, do you not in the back of your head go, you sure?
Right.
You sure it was her and it's not you? Because that's the 13th crazy girl you've had in about 2 years. We all do it. Referees do it too. So I hear this, they get every call. Calls are missed all the time. You want to know why you notice it? Because you're looking for anything possible that would make you think you have a chance to beat them. And a handful of you do. You have to catch some breaks. A handful of you don't. A handful of you are making the playoffs, and I don't give a damn what you do. They're going to beat you. Denver Broncos, I'm looking directly at you.
Yep. This is like, I think about this in the same kind of sense of, the NASCAR is rigged argument, right? It comes down to the end of the race every week, and what happens? Same thing happens every time. Last few laps, there's a crash, and we got to do this overtime crap every single week. Is it because because somebody called in and said, hey, who's going to wreck this week? That's the joke that we all use. But no, I mean, come down to the end of the games, teams are pressing. Guys are pressing. You're trying to make that big play. You're going to have more holds. You're going to have more late hits out of bounds. You're trying to wrangle the ball loose. You're going to have more face masks. And guess what? Everybody that is playing against the Kansas City Chiefs, they panic. And the Kansas City Chiefs don't. I think that's a lot of what this boils down to, is that when you have that kind of confidence, nothing really matters, right? The end-all, be-all winner attitude can carry you in many of these situations.
Last night, I can give you the very play where all this went awry. 2nd and 9. You're on Kansas City 17-yard line. There's roughly 6 minutes left. The one thing Justin Herbert could not do, take a sack. What'd he do? Took a sack. I can do this with every single one of these games. The Kansas City Chiefs are like the serial killer in a Jason movie or any scary movie.
Right.
You don't just have to kill them. You better bury them in a hole, cover them in dirt, fill it with concrete, and if you could blow it up with dynamite, that would be great.
Just to
because
make sure.
that's what you're going to have to do to beat this team, because they've done it so many times. They get into these situations. On this drive, I watched it. I watched every play of the second half of this game. That final drive, Kansas City had resigned themselves. We're going to give up points. The one thing we're not going to do is give up a touchdown. Because if you go back and watch the tape, watch what the secondary did. I'm not afraid of what you're going to do in front of me, because I know, and I heard Chris Collinsworth kind of hint at this, but he didn't hammer it home the way that I thought he should. I know you're going to screw up at some point. At some point, you're going to make that decision because it's a close game, and you're pressing exactly how you said. And you're not used to this. You lose these games, and we win them. So they just laid back. And they said, you know what? One of these times, we're going to get home with 4. And they did. Which meant the Chargers had to kick a field goal because, God forbid, we let Justin Herbert throw one into that secondary that's dropping out aggressively on 3rd and 16, because that's how we wind up with no points. So you resign yourself to, we're going to kick the field goal. And we'll go play good defense. Go back and watch every play of that drive. You know what you'll see? They got home every play. Kansas City gets the ball, every single pass play. Chargers got home. At one point, they got home too much. And Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa tried to decapitate each other because they were so just hard-pressed. We have to hit Patrick Mahomes. He stepped up, and they decleated each other. That play is exactly why Kansas City wins these games, because you are doing everything in your power. You are wound tighter than a banjo string. They're not. They've done this so many times that this is old hat. Patrick Mahomes never even raised his voice. I watched him in the huddle. Every time they showed that camera in there, he is cool as the other side of the pillow. Meanwhile, the Chargers look frantic. They got young guys that they're not used to the situation. And, oh, God, I don't want to be the guy that gives up the play to Patrick Mahomes. And what did they do? They let Isaiah Pacheco run right down the field on them. Every third down, you knew exactly what they were doing, and you could not stop it. That's on you. That's not the officials. That's not the NFL's rigged. It's none of that. They're better at this than you. So when you kick field goals, don't be shocked when you give this team an in that they come down and beat you, because all of you seem to be doing it week in and week out. I hate to use this phrase because it's haunted me for 15 years. You play to win the game. Don't play just to hope to God Pat Mahomes is going to make a mistake, because he's not going to. This is Tom Brady all over again, and I'm going to be honest with you. I think he's actually better at this than Tom. Mm-hmm. That 2-minute drive, I think he's better than Tom was.
Seems to always find a way. When it needs to happen, the confidence is there to pull off the play. The confidence is there to be able to find whoever I need to make this play happen, whether it be Xavier Worthy or Travis Kelce or Isaiah Pacheco. I have to have faith in my quarterback, and there's nobody better to have faith in.
Good organizations prop up mediocre players. Last night there were plays made by Samaje Perine. There were plays made by Travis Kelce, who looks like at this point he would struggle to outrun me. Xavier Worthy made a play. It doesn't matter. We do this every year. Oh, they don't have receivers. It doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. We have a handful of Super Chats before we go into the commercial break.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Red Sea starts us off with my overreaction. Sunday sucked.
Yeah, it didn't go well for the Cardinals.
It did not go well. We're going to talk about them. Expectations are a thing, and you don't have anything to be ashamed of. All right, Seattle's had your number this year, but you should still be really encouraged. And at some point in these 3 hours, we will get to that. Mm-hmm. Two more.
Mm-hmm. Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Soaring Eagle, the 2025 National Championship is Georgia and someone else. I'm not going to lie. Your fan base is quickly, you're getting into that Alabama territory of annoying.
Well, I mean, it is what it is.
You're not there yet. Because I've yet to have one of you go, Roll Tide, right in my face. I've never had that. You don't have a figurehead who looks like that face I just made.
It's hard not to look at the way the bracket came down and think that that's wrong. I mean, depending on what the quarterback situation is going to be, but I got a month to get somebody healthy and right. So
no, you don't, because you've got games that happen you've got 3 weeks.
Yeah, there you go.
You got 3 weeks, and I do have a dedicated lane on how you should be hoping that goes, but we'll talk about the college football playoff the next hour. Mm-hmm. And then one final one.
All right.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Eamon Report commenting on what we said about kickers. Cleveland Browns kicker Dustin Hopkins is currently converting 64% of his field goals. There are college basketball players that are converting a higher percentage of their field goals than Dustin Hopkins is. Mm-hmm. But Cleveland just, it's fine. God forbid we let him go and have to go back to Cade York.
You got to ride with our guy. You got to stay with the one that brought you, right? I guess. But why even bother? Why even bother at this point?
Nobody currently is doing a better job of understanding their assignment than the Cleveland Browns and the New York Jets. Mm-hmm. Look competitive. Mm-hmm. Go out there and have you a whale of a time. But when the time comes, I need you to suck something awful.
I'm going to need you.
Because we're going to need that to be a loss.
I'd lump the Carolina Panthers into that as well, although they're not as clueless as those franchises.
No. It's an interesting time in Carolina.
Mm-hmm. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
Using a Clorox disinfecting wipe on your coffee table this cold and flu season feels like... It feels like being bold enough to laugh your weird laugh in front of everyone.
That was a good one.
With Clorox, clean feels confident. Clean feels good. Use as directed on hard, non-porous surfaces.
Old Spice Swagger Holiday Pack, perfect for a gift to treat yourself. 24/7 holiday freshness with daily use can smell your bestest. I'm gonna be smelling great all season. Old Spice scents just can't be beaten. Chock full of value, saving that green. Got the essentials needed to feel clean. Deodorant, hair, body wash, and spray. Celebrate your holiday the Old Spice way. Ho 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 ho.
Cheerio and happy holidays to all. There's two things we Brits do particularly well. It's celebrate the Yuletide season and make a fantastic cocktail. And now, doing both in the proper British way is simpler with Bartesian. Yes, Bartesian! It's the home cocktail maker that's every bit as posh and premium as having your own bartender in the house, without having to worry about providing servants' courses. Whether your desire is a holiday-spiced old-fashioned by the Yule log or a Clausmopolitan for sipping with your besties, just pop in a capsule, select your strength, push the button, and you're off. Hurry now, old chap, because they're $50 off. Yes, even old Ebenezer Scrooge wouldn't quite be able to turn down such good tidings, made so rapidly and served so well. So turn your holiday party into an event worthy of the blokes across the pond with Bartesian. Add some holiday flavor to every celebration with the sleek, sophisticated home cocktail maker, Bartesian. Get $50 off any cocktail maker at bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks Community heroes. Like Trent and Doug, whose first instinct was to fill their trucks with supplies and drive to the areas that were hardest hit in those first hours. Like Spencer, who helped build a bridge out of debris to rescue 7 families after the road was washed away. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
This year, we have plenty to celebrate. From reuniting with loved ones, to welcoming new family members, from rediscovering the great outdoors, to perfecting Let's Stay In. At Ingalls, we're so proud to play a part in your everyday adventures and all your celebrations. So here's to taking a pause and taking it all in. Merry Christmas from Ingalls.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, Cot?
We are back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, and we were so close. We were so close yesterday to having the best win in the history of football. Because we all could have reveled in that one jackwagon losing $3.5 million.
Oh, don't worry. He'll lose it. If you were stupid enough to bet that, look, I haven't been able to bet a football game to save my life. That was the easiest pick. I said that Friday. This is the easiest pick I've ever seen because it's a trap game. There is no shot that I would take. I did not think Philadelphia would lose. And they didn't.
And they didn't. But
they tried.
It was closer than you wanted it to be, and we were just, a gnat's keister away from possibly seeing the Carolina Panthers take a 23-22 lead on the Philadelphia Eagles late in that game, and then we would have saw what kind of Hail Mary action they could have came up with.
Which side of this you want to talk about first? Because Carolina, I feel like, is just reiterating the same thing we've already said.
Okay. What was your takeaway about Philadelphia?
Did you hear the comments after the game?
What was
A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith were both irate at the fact they can't throw the ball. look, I've had this problem with Philadelphia for a long time, so this is not really new information. I know there are a lot of volatile personalities in that locker room. Nick Sirianni ain't the guy to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it yesterday. It was not hard to figure out. A.J. Brown, you're winning. You understand that, right? Look at the scoreboard. You're winning. And he's on the sideline throwing his helmet because he's not involved in the game plan. I love A.J. Brown. Love him. He's not a team guy. Ask anybody that was in Nashville when he was there. They'll happily tell you.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of personalities in Philadelphia. And Jalen Hurts, he ain't your guy. I don't know how much more you need to see. He ain't your guy. Because there is a big difference in Philadelphia's winning and Kansas City's. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Because I'm looking at Philadelphia going, okay, you've had a win or two that's been impressive. Large part they haven't been.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a lot of Carolina, the Giants. Just not really impressive to me. You cannot win this way when we get to the playoffs. If you think you're going to go into Detroit and you're going to Saquon Barkley your way to victories, meanwhile, your quarterback looks completely inept at times. For 3 quarters of yesterday, I wasn't sure they had clued him into what the game plan actually was. He was terrible.
And what can you attribute that to? Is he just that bad, or is this just it doesn't work with what Kellen Moore is asking him to do? I don't know.
It should tell you a lot.
I'm kind of on the side with A.J. Brown when he gets upset. I mean, I'm probably one of the top. I'm definitely one of the top 5, 6 receivers in this league, and I had 4 targets yesterday.
It should tell you a lot. All right, I'm gonna give you the number of pass attempts in order that Jalen Hurts has had by game.
Okay.
And I want you to tell me if you notice a trend. 34, 30, 38, 30, 25, 14, 20, 24, 20, 28, 22, 19, 21.
Mm-hmm.
See a trend there? 21 was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't thrown 30 passes in a game in 2.5 months. And you're winning against the Browns and the Giants and the Bengals and the Jaguars and the Cowboys and the Commanders and the Rams. He got one with Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
Hot diggity. And the Panthers. Kellen Moore knows what the business is. I think he looked at those first 4 games specifically because where it swapped was after your Tampa Bay Buccaneers just depleted them.
Yes.
I think he's looked at Jalen Hurts and gone, we can't win that way. He's not good enough. He had 4 interceptions in the 4 games that he threw over 30 passes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to take it out of his hands. He has 1 interception since. That is the most vanilla offense I have ever seen. Because all they do is run the ball down your throat and pray to God you can't stop them. Jalen Hurts has not thrown for more than 236 yards since October the 13th.
Wow.
Do you think that wins in today's modern NFL? Because I don't.
I mean, it wins regular season games.
Against the doggiest of dog water teams.
Mm-hmm.
On that list, you have the worst team in the NFL, the second worst team in the NFL, arguably the 4th or 5th worst team in the NFL, and I haven't even mentioned the Carolina Panthers yet.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Do you really think you're going into Detroit and beating that team that way? Do you really think that Green Bay can't come into your house and beat you with you playing that way? Or the Minnesota Vikings? Or even, I'll go a step further, the Seattle Seahawks. Jason McElreath is a great listener to the show and a personal friend of mine. He is every single day texting me going, you're giving the Eagles no credit. You're right, I'm not, because you don't deserve it. You're winning football games. That's fine. You're winning them in a way. Name me the last team that won a Super Bowl this way. Because I'll go ahead and tell you, the last running back to win a Super Bowl this way was Jamal Lewis, who hasn't played an NFL game in 14 years.
Mm-hmm. Harking it all the way back to 2000.
It's not a recipe for success because you're going to come up against the Pat Mahomes and the Sam Darnolds and the Jordan Loves and the Jared Goffs. And yes, I do see the humor in the names that I'm saying here. I'm doing it on purpose. I started with Pat Mahomes because I go ahead and tell you there is no prayer of you beating them this way. I don't think there's a prayer of you beating Josh Allen this way. So I mean, if having 13 or 14 regular season wins does it for you, awesome. It doesn't mean a hill of squat to me. Just like it doesn't mean anything that SMU won 11 games to me. I don't care. You didn't play anybody.
Yep.
And Philadelphia, and I know the argument that's coming, we can only play the teams that are on the schedule. That's fine. Go look at who Buffalo's played. Go look at who Kansas City's played. Hell, look who Minnesota and Green Bay have played. It's not even close. It's not even in the ballpark. And you can't throw on these teams. What do you think's going to happen when you play a good defense? And you know why A.J. Brown's mad about it? Because he knows it ain't going to change.
Mm-hmm.
Devontae Smith is upset about it because he knows it ain't going to change.
Because when you're winning games, you can't break the cycle. And also, maybe Kellen Moore is just out on Jalen Hurts. Maybe you're right. Maybe he has figured it out. Jalen can't be the guy. That's why we've seen the shift to the running game. That's why we see you running the ball 35 times a game.
And that's
when
fine.
you can run for 209 yards on pretty much everybody week in and week out, you're going to move the ball. You're going to get a lot of wins. But
and legitimately, I understand why Kellen Moore's doing that. I understand why Nick Sirianni's doing that. Your job is to win games. This is winning you games.
Mm-hmm.
I just, this morning, Tank walked in as I was doing it, I filmed the Christmas mock draft. We're going to put it out piece by piece, reels on social media, all those things. If you heard me say high upside, low floor one time, how many times did you hear me say it?
It's a bunch.
The Eagles are the exact opposite of that. They have a super shallow ceiling. They have a super high floor. Because if you can't stop the run, they're going to beat you.
Mm-hmm.
Because Saquon Barkley is that good. But what happens when you get into a shootout?
Precisely.
What happens when your young secondary can't stop? I'm using the quarterbacks that you have stopped. Bryce Young and Cooper Rush and Trevor Lawrence and Daniel Jones and Deshaun Watson. Oh, you mean like Baker Mayfield? Because he carved you up like a Thanksgiving turkey. And yes, you've gotten better.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird that you got better when all of a sudden you stopped playing good quarterbacks. But we beat Lamar Jackson, who had his worst game of the year. His mother cussed him out because he didn't run enough. That's a true story. I did not make that up.
The Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, there's no doubting how many wins you put up on the scoreboard. But again, it always comes down to, can you do it when it matters? And when you come down at the end of a game and you got to make that minute-and-a-half drive to save your season, to move on in the playoffs, do you have faith in Jalen Hurts to pull that off?
You shouldn't.
You have a minute and a half to go 70 yards. You're not getting that, more than likely, with Saquon Barkley running through the gap.
Gomaha23 said the Eagles' locker room's got more divas than the incoming Trump cabinet. That's a good line. I do it on both sides of the aisle.
Mm-hmm.
I know I get accused of that. It's
Points.
just one side's a lot more easy to make fun of at this point. And there's another layer to this.
Mm-hmm.
How many times have we railed on Nick Sirianni for just forgetting to run the ball? Do you not think that's coming? When you get punched in the mouth, everybody's got to play until they get punched in the mouth. Do you not see there coming a day where they, I don't have a team name off the top of my head. The Vikings were probably the first one I thought of.
Mm-hmm.
You play the Minnesota Vikings. Sam Darnold comes out and throws for 2 bills in the first half. 3 touchdowns. Do you not think Nick Sirianni goes in and goes, we got to put the ball in the air? And now you've got an internal infight between him and Kellen Moore.
Yep.
There's just a lot of combustible here, and I don't like that.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. It's an Overreaction Monday. We'll be back in the Ingles studio after this.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Wet weather from today, tapering off into the afternoon hours. It does stay mild here, not only today, but the next few days. Low 60s today, most of our showers now for the afternoon over, mainly cloudy. Tonight, mainly after midnight toward morning, another round of showers coming in, 45, so well above freezing. Tuesday, some fog in the morning, scattered showers, maybe a late day thunderstorm, 62. Rain showers may end late as snow showers Wednesday, upper 40s. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Their all-in-one platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates, all from one place. And Indeed's interview tool lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Hey there, this is Joe Donovan from Fast Signs of Asheville. Our best holiday greetings go out to all of Western North Carolina. May your joy be complete in faith, with peace in the new year. Hope your holiday season is filled with sparkle and cheer.
Hi, this is Steve Grigg. May your Christmas be wrapped in joy and your New Year be filled with warmth. Here's to a holiday season of peace and cherished moments filled with bright lights from Grigg Electric. Merry Christmas.
The PayPal app has amazingly low prices for holiday shopping. Get cashback offers in the app, and when you use the PayPal debit card, PayPal stacks 5% more in the monthly category of your choosing on up to $1,000 in purchases. Don't just pay, PayPal. This season, the PayPal app has amazingly low prices for holiday shopping. Get exclusive cashback offers in the app. And with the PayPal debit card, PayPal stacks 5% more in the monthly category of your choosing on up to $1,000 in purchases. Don't just pay, PayPal.
The Ingalls Giving Tree, benefiting Manna Food Bank, will be on display at the Asheville Mall as a reminder of the needs of so many families in western North Carolina. Drop off non-perishable items in the donation barrels at all Ingalls locations, donate online or at the Ingalls Giving Tree at Asheville Mall so Manna Food Bank can reach everyone who needs help. Nothing can hold back the holiday spirit of giving in western North Carolina. Please help Ingalls Market, iHeartRadio Asheville, WLOS, and the Asheville Citizen-Times ensure Manna Food Bank can fill thousands of empty plates this holiday season.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
When you get tired of freezing your can at the tailgate, maybe it's time to ring in a new season. Tailgating season. Wherever you are, whatever the forecast, with good old ale, it's the perfect way to kick off game day. From Red Cup Revelry to just kicking it solo, you can't go wrong with Dale's Pale Ale, Dale's Light Lager, and Dale's Easy IPA. Honest ingredients, no BS. Drink responsibly, and we'll see you at the Tailgate.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
It is ESPN Asheville, the Sportsocracy, live in the Ingalls studio and heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. New York sports fans, they really know how to get their message across, don't they, Jeremy?
To be honest with you, there's three stories this could be, and I don't know which one it is.
Outside MetLife Stadium on Sunday, we had a plane towing a banner that said, "Mr. Mara, enough. Please fix this dumpster fire." Circled the stadium for, I guess, several hours before the kickoff of Sunday afternoon's game against the New Orleans Saints. And if you didn't see how that game went, it was pretty dumpster fiery itself. A 14-11 game that ended on a blocked field goal with the New Orleans Saints scraping by with the win. To spend that much money to have a banner made and to rent a plane, I don't know what something like that costs. I know that it's
depends. You got a plane guy?
Right.
I got a plane guy.
Oh, you have a plane guy?
Sure do.
Nice.
Well, that's not so much true. I have a guy with a plane.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know how putting banners behind them works, but I'm going to assume that he would not be using his plane for that.
Yeah.
Because it's not the little dune buggy in the sky. It's the, you got that kind of money, got a plane.
Yeah. It seems pretty far. Seems pretty far to go, but that's how dedicated fans can be. And who knows, maybe this will be a kick in the keister that the Mara family needs to basically just, listen to the fans and fix the dumpster fire. This has happened before. Apparently it happened back in December of 1978, where one fan put up a banner behind a plane that said 15 years of lousy football, we've had enough. And then that led to the changes that eventually led to the 90s resurgence of the New York Giants, the Bill Parcells era.
Well, that would be
So maybe.
I would call that the 80s, because the 90s were pretty bleak.
Okay.
Because Bill didn't hang around for long, and then...
Excuse me, the 80s.
My stories are both about money.
Okay.
I'm going to start the world of golf. Mainly because we haven't talked about golf. And we used to, but then we realized that you did not care. So I have to hide stories like this right here. Did you know the PGA season just ended this weekend?
No.
Yeah, it did. After the Tour Championship, all those things. Scotty Scheffler won again.
Everything.
How many wins did he have? He started 21 tournaments. How many times did he win this year?
I'll say 11.
9.
Okay.
He pocketed how much money this year?
There's no telling. $30 million.
Double it and you're close. $55.2 million. Wow. That's no sponsors. That's just straight payments from the PGA Tour.
Mm-hmm. Tournament winnings.
Do you realize how much that means his caddy made? His caddy made $5.4 million to carry his clubs around.
Let's go. Caddies get 10%?
10%. That's the industry standard. And now we don't know the agreement that he has with his individual caddy. But that's pretty consistent.
Good for him.
Now that's on the good for Ted Scott. Now I have to go to, why is baseball stupid? Do you not understand how money works?
Nope.
Juan Soto signs a 15-year, $765 million deal, but even that number is misleading because he can opt out after 4 or 5.
5.
After 5, and his salary goes up and turns it into an over $800 million deal.
Yes.
How much money did the New York Mets make last year? Their revenue.
Oh, their revenue?
Mm-hmm. Now, bear in mind, this is revenue.
Mm-hmm. $100 million.
You're bad at this game. If it was $100 million, they sure as hell would not have been giving Juan Soto.
I don't know. I don't know. $1 billion.
Total number was $393. $393 million.
Okay.
Now, forgive me, I'm new. Is $393 million more than $765 million? No, It's not even close. Actually, you practically have to double it to get there.
Yep.
Do you see where maybe I'm headed with this? Monopoly money?
You got to have 2 full years of revenue to equal what you're going to pay this guy over 15 years.
How many Major League Baseball teams made $765 million last year? And I'll go ahead and tell you, the Mets are middle of the road.
5.
It's none.
Really?
The New York Yankees, by a mile, $679 million. That was the most revenue any Major League Baseball team made in 2023.
Okay.
We don't have figures for last year, but they've been pretty static for the last handful of years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand where you're getting this money from, and I don't understand why you keep doing it. I'm going to give you a stat. ESPN put this out earlier. Juan Soto's deal, $765 million.
Yeah.
How much have LeBron James and Tom Brady made in career earnings combined?
I'm guessing it's less than that.
761. the greatest basketball player of the last 20 years and the greatest quarterback that ever lived made less than Juan Soto, who, if he walked in the door right now, I would not know who he was.
Mm-hmm.
I do this for a living. I don't know why Major League Baseball cannot figure out the most basic tenet of we're making less peoples that want to watch our sport, but we're paying more monies.
Well, I mean, that's not necessarily true. I mean, numbers, the viewership numbers did go up this past year, according to the league. So
yeah,
it wasn't great.
Dig into that a little bit.
It wasn't great.
It's not hard to debunk that.
Oh, really?
Okay, so it went up from your all-time ungodliest lows of having the Tampa Bay Rays in the World Series.
Well, I'm not saying you're back to where you were at one point, because you'll never get back there.
You'll never be
It'll
in the
never
ballpark
happen.
of it. You will be closer to the NHL forever. I don't think 3 teams are worth $765 million in the NHL.
How much is a World Series worth to you? And that's where Cohen's at right now. He's going, you know what? I don't care. Whatever it takes to win a World Series. And you know it's not going to work because it's the New York Mets.
Well, here would be, my argument. And it's a really very basic argument. Where in the world are you getting this money from? Like, I mean, I get it. The Cohen Trust has a gajillion dollars.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem with the way you're spending in Major League Baseball is a lot like the problem with socialism. Eventually, you run out of other people's money to spend, and that's a bit of a problem. Because you sure as hell ain't making it yourself. Because if your revenue was, what did I say, 300-something million? 393 million?
Yes.
That means your gross profit was closer to 100? 150?
Maybe.
Because that doesn't factor in marketing, that doesn't factor in keeping the stadium operations or anything like that. Because that's revenue. That's not profit.
Mets feel like they got to keep up somehow.
Baseball's just, it's dumb.
It's dumb.
The sheer fact that you just had a player, a generational quote-unquote player, hit free agency and you had 3 teams that had the ability to sign him is dumb. That's moronic. Like, put that into NFL terms. Pat Mahomes makes it to free agency, and the only 3 teams that can sign him are the Dallas Cowboys, the L.A. Rams, and the New York Jets.
Well, I mean, we have that
How
situation.
How stupid is that?
We have that situation anyways with salary caps, don't we? You only have so much salary cap room to make a move. So
yes, because you've already spent it. The other 27 teams in your sport don't have that much money.
I get it.
Meanwhile, you've already spent more than they have. It's moronic. And the fact that baseball can't figure that out, I'll if I live to be 200 years old, I will never figure that out. You have 30 teams. 24 of them are completely non-competitive. 9 out of 10 years. And you can't figure out why that's bad for your sport. Rocket surgeons.
You can't figure out why nobody cares about those other teams either.
Of course they
that
don't.
live outside the 4 blocks of the stadium.
Of course they don't.
No,
They're
no.
non-competitive.
Exactly.
The Cincinnati Reds were the most popular team in your sport in the 80s. You killed them, and guess where all their fans went? This is coming from a guy that was raised by a family of Reds fans, by the way. Yet none of them watch baseball anymore. You know why? Because you did that. You did it. Not us. We didn't do that. You did that.
Let's see. We got a super chat here.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Red Sea says the only Major League Baseball games I've watched in the last 10 years have been when I fell asleep to an NFL game and the baseball game was on when I woke up.
That's actually, they talk about the viewership of Major League Baseball going up. More people probably did fall asleep last year. I would also say there's a large percentage of hospital waiting rooms, DMVs, prisons, what's on? Baseball. Okay. It's better than whatever is on network television right now. Just leave it on.
That is true. That is true.
Maybe somebody will lose their mind and brain somebody with that baseball bat. I don't know.
Maybe eventually they'll get to your idea and really spice the game up with landmines and things like that.
It'd be better than what you got now.
Then maybe it will really be a risk. It would really be worth paying Juan Soto $700 million. Your goal is we'll give you all that money if over the next 15 years you don't blow yourself up in the outfield. That's our out clause. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, and it is an Overreaction Monday.
Oh, look, I have to answer this because my name's on the door and I can't help it.
What happened?
Divine Comedy said wanting more competitive teams is socialism. No, if I wanted the Yankees to have to pay the other teams, then that would be socialism. I want you to have a salary cap that every team can afford. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
There's no fairness to that.
It's something called parity. Right, you want parity in the league.
Yeah, I don't need the Yankees I don't need the Yankees to cover up the deficiency of the A's, which, oh, by the way, they already do. And they take that money and they put it in their pocket, and away they go. Yeah, that's the reason your sport is dumb. Like, even saying that out loud is moronic. Just think about it in the reference of a school. All right, so you got a school that's got 50 teachers. You pay 2 of them $2 million apiece, and you pay 10 of them $10,000.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good in education. You think the bottom tier? You think they're doing a great job,
no,
or do you think they're selling feet pictures on OnlyFans? Because that's how that's actually going.
You got to work for it. You got to earn your way up. Merit-based system.
Yeah, merit-based system, or just sell your team to a gajillionaire like the Mets and the Dodgers do.
Right, and then you too could have a 26-year-old outfielder for $765 million.
You can tell me Juan Soto had this weird little hitch in his giddy-up that he only played Major League Baseball games in a dress, and I would not know that. I'd have no clue because I've literally never seen him play one pitch.
You would have if he'd worn a dress, though. We'd have covered that at some point.
No, I probably wouldn't have. I would have laughed, and then I'd have gone, let's talk about a sport that people actually care about, like football.
On an Overreaction Monday here in the Sportsocracy, I feel like, where do you want to go next? Because I'm wondering if we want to get into the Minnesota Vikings talk here, or do you need more time to wax poetic about Sammy D?
Well, I don't need more time to wax poetic about that. We do have another topic with the Vikings that we'll do in the final hour.
Okay.
Because the next hour is going to be a lot of college football. How far can Sam Darnold take this Vikings team?
To the NFC Championship game.
No shot you think they could beat one of these teams?
They could. I mean, they could possibly beat Detroit.
That's where I'm headed.
They could possibly beat a Philly.
Pie in the sky. Mm-hmm. That Sam Darnold that we saw yesterday, who, oh, by the way, that was chef's kiss. Kirk Cousins goes away. Oh, we're all doomed. And you made him look like a little boy.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoyed every single second of it. That Sam Darnold shows up in the playoffs.
Yes.
Who's beating this team? Because I'm going to tell you, I don't think anybody beats them.
Really?
That's your highest. That is your highest of high side. There's probably no chance that you ever see that game from Sam Darnold in the 2024 season again.
Mm-hmm.
But, man, if you do, I don't know how you're supposed to beat them.
Yep.
Yesterday, if you played DraftKings yesterday, and this is obviously just it's just kind of an aside, do you know how many points Sam Darnold, Jordan Addison, and Justin Jefferson scored between the three of them?
Oh, I'd probably say it's 100.
It's 117.
117.
117 points.
That's a bunch.
That was an impressive feat.
Mm-hmm.
And now I asked the question that I asked on social media. Is Sam Darnold the franchise in Minnesota?
He has to be.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. But what does that mean to you? When I say the franchise, what does that mean?
That means I'm flipping that draft pick I made last year for something.
I agree.
I am getting something out of J.J. McCarthy, probably going to get a lot. And to me, Sam Darnold falls in line with the the minimum for a good quarterback? I mean, money-wise, you're giving him $45 million, something like that?
I have a feeling it's going to be a lot.
I don't know. At some point, I'm expecting the market to correct itself on some of these quarterback contracts.
Oh, yeah, because we do that quite often.
I mean, look, but I'm saying at some point,
all those deals that have gone backwards.
Yeah. I mean,
what deal's going backwards?
Trevor Lawrence, Tua Tagovailoa.
No. I was talking. You didn't understand what I said there. Once a market's been established, that is the market.
Oh, I get it.
Quarterback deals are not going anywhere but up.
For the really elite ones.
Nope.
Really?
Because you got to have a
keep
quarterback.
doing it. We're just going to keep climbing that hill.
Of course you are.
Oof.
Of course you are. Because what else are you going to do? Did you see Drew Lock yesterday? That's not real fun to do.
No, I get it.
And trust me, I'm the guy of I don't want to pay that guy. I'll keep running the rookie gambit.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of if Sam Darnold hit the open market right now, there is no telling what some of these teams would be willing to pay him. I wouldn't be shocked if the Jets come off $50 million a year to get him to come back.
Right.
And he was a disaster for them.
I feel real leery about these 1 year blips. I mean, that's what you have here with Sam Darnold. And now you got to make the call.
Well, this is not a 1 year blip. This is the first time he's been in a even coherent situation.
We think so.
We don't think so because that's already done. The Jets were not. There's no quarterback on earth. Tom Brady would have been out of the league with the Jets.
I get it, but this is the first time that we've seen him be good and worthy of this discussion.
And that's fine. It's the first time you've seen him be in a situation that wasn't an absolute albatross.
Sure.
Somebody on our social media said this. It's weird what good coaching and talent around you will do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, I've told you this for years. A, the talent of Sam Darnold. B, the difference between an average NFL quarterback, which is what he had been in his career, and the bottom end of elite is not as much as you think.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Jones was elite for a year.
Yeah.
Weird. Everything around him went away. He wasn't elite anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And trust me, a team's going to take a shot on him. And yes, I do see the irony that I used the backup quarterback for the Vikings for this argument.
Yeah. I'm not saying he's not worth it. I'm just saying I would be real leery about this continuing. And that would make me question how much money I'm giving to him.
I wouldn't. It's
here. It's for real. It's done.
Well,
okay. I mean, I know you're a believer.
Well, I'm not the only one.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody makes this sound like I was the only wackadoodle out on Sam Darnold Island.
There was a bunch.
There were. Every scout I know is sitting here going, "What are you people not seeing? No quarterback could win in this." So yeah, you don't have a choice. It's going to be whatever the market dictates, and you better hope to God you don't let him find out what that is.
Mm-hmm. Huge day yesterday, career day, 5 touchdown passes for Sammy D. MVP. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
Are you going to start the new year dealing with the same old joint pain, losing sleep, not able to take walks, or do what you love because your knees or hips? Don't do it. Take action now to get the pain relief you deserve for 2025. Call QC Kinetics now. Say goodbye to shoulder and back pain. QC Kinetics local medical professionals are waiting for you. Their advanced protocols and regenerative medicine have helped tens of thousands of people. I'm talking lasting relief. Imagine a new year without those achy joints. No more pain pills, no more steroid shots. QC Kinetics uses the healing properties of your own body to attack the root cause of your pain, revitalizing your joints so you can move again. This is the future of medicine. If you've been told surgery is your best or only option, you deserve a second opinion. Find out if all-natural regenerative medicine is right for you. Call QC Kinetics. The consultation is free, and you can use HSA and FSA dollars. Live your best life in 2025. Get started now. Call 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
Christmas.
Hurry, they're gonna be up soon.
When families and communities come together in the spirit of peace on earth and goodwill towards men.
Operation Silent Night and Stone Defense. Okay, we're ready.
At Ingalls, we know that Christmas isn't just a holiday. It's It's a feeling to embrace all year long. Ingalls, your neighbor for over 50 years.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks community heroes, like Eric, who hosted the football team to support their neighbors and begin the cleanup efforts, like Jeff and Chris, who led a fleet of Ford commercial vehicles throughout the night, delivering supplies with emergency services to all corners of the county and first responders. Nominate your community hero at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Wet weather from today, tapering off into the afternoon hours. It does stay mild here, not only today, but the next few days. Low 60s today, most of our showers now for the afternoon over, mainly cloudy. Tonight, mainly after midnight toward morning, another round of showers coming in, 45, so well above freezing. Tuesday, some fog in the morning, scattered showers, maybe a late day thunderstorm, 62. Rain showers may end late as snow showers Wednesday, upper 40s. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by First Restoration Services.
Disasters at home from floods, fires, or storm is a homeowner's worst nightmare. It pays to have a professional on your side, and that's exactly what you get with First Restoration Services. They've built their business off trust, integrity, speed, and quality. Learn more online at FRS247.com.
At Harbor Freight, our low prices make us the place for gifts that keep on giving. Because when you give the gift of quality tools, you're giving someone the ability to fix, restore, and build for years to come. And with savings like these, you can even get something for yourself. Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight. Stop by and give yourself the gift of great prices.
Join us December 11th for Venture Asheville Honors, a telethon celebrating entrepreneurial resilience. On December 11th from 6 to 9 at the Orange Peel, our goal is to raise $1 million for Optimist Ventures, supporting local businesses impacted by Hurricane Helene. Enjoy live performances, comedy, and inspiring stories from entrepreneurs. Tickets are $35 and include food and drink. Visit ventureasheville.com/venture15 for details. ventureasheville.com/venture15.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
Live from the Ingalls Studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dogs eat! Let them on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God, the Jets killed him.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy is heard everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app. We are seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel, and you can join us in the chat for
Overreaction Monday.
I was trying to give you enough time there to get you a little, sip in.
I thought I had more time than that.
Yeah, that was like you ever play that old Nintendo game, Kirby, where you just, like, inhales stuff? That was kind of what Jeremy was like right before the mic came on there, just shoving the last of that sandwich in his face along with 17 chips. And I'm glad that you're not dead, because I thought you might choke to death.
Dude, Jersey Mike's gave me a free sandwich for ordering one on Uber Eats. They brought it to me with tip for cheaper than I could have gone to the store to buy it. And Jersey Mike's is the creme de la creme.
It is.
Of sandwich places like that.
Yes, it is. Do you have a number 13?
Yes, that's exactly what I had.
That's the only way to go. It's the only way to go. For me, anyway.
Gambit fans said the show has a countdown, and Jeremy still couldn't get it done in time. Who do you think activated the countdown?
Right, he hit the countdown.
I have to hit the button for that to start.
He hit the countdown and then shoved 8 more chips in his mouth.
I actually walked over here, hit the button, and then shoved a whole nother final piece of sandwich in my face.
Right. Anyhow, welcome into the program on an Overreaction Monday, and on Saturday we had all of the conference championship games, or the ones that really mattered anyway. There were some on Friday, but nothing really consequential came out of that. But Saturday threw us for quite the little loop. Did
it, though?
I mean, it did for me. I thought there was no way that the ACC was getting 2 teams in.
Well, you painted yourself in a corner.
To me, that was an elimination game. One is in, one is out.
Well, it's because you painted yourself into a corner, which is exactly what I was trying to tell you last week of the committee is going to rue the fact that you did these rankings this way. And I'm just going to be 100% honest. This is as nice as I can be about this. Mm-hmm. I am not sure how Ward Manuel got to this point in life being this unbelievably dumb and clunky in front of a camera. There are things that you say off camera, they're fine. You tell people off the record, we're not going to move Alabama. You don't say it the week before the games, dumb. Mm-hmm. Because literally we're all sitting here going, okay, so that means SMU's in whether they should be or not. Because what you just said is not playing a conference championship game, not getting into one, is worse than losing in one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then you're stuck.
Yep.
No matter what you think, SMU has to get in. And I'll go one step further. The way you said it, it wouldn't have mattered if they lost 52-3. You would still have had to have put SMU in. Or you're a liar.
Why?
Because you said that it is worse to not get – this was his words. I'm not making this up.
Right.
It's worse to not get in than it is to lose. Okay, then this game doesn't matter. All it is this is a playing game for Clemson. So who's shocked that they came out hot and SMU didn't?
Mm-hmm.
I ask a very simple question. Was this weekend the end of conference championship games?
No, but it will lead to it.
I disagree with you vehemently.
Oh, you don't think they'll have one?
I will not be shocked if one of these conferences says, nope, not doing it again. Not doing it. I won't do it again.
Yeah.
Because there's absolutely nothing to play.
Certainly you would have run that risk more had SMU been left out. I understand the we just lost to the champion, we don't drop too far in the rankings. I guess that's the thing here. I mean, they looked at the 2 or unranked losses that Alabama had and decided that was more damaging than the 2 losses against ranked teams that SMU took.
I'm not crying that Alabama's not in this thing.
Mm-hmm.
You did this to yourself.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
You got beat 24-3 by an Oklahoma team that was borderline incompetent.
Yes. It was god-awful.
My favorite stat, Vanderbilt and Oklahoma combined for 5 SEC wins. Mm-hmm. You were 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I don't have a whole lot of sympathy for you.
The problem, take the name off of it. Right, because to me, that last SEC spot was interchangeable. Alabama, Ole Miss, South Carolina. The committee chose Alabama. Right, going into it this past week, they chose Alabama as the top team of that SEC group. You're trying to tell me that playing the schedule that they play in the SEC is equal to the schedule that SMU just played.
Well, there's no doubt. They told you that. Strength of schedule, it's an analytical stat. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, which I feel like it should.
It did matter to a point. Because if it hadn't been for that, this wouldn't have even been a discussion.
I get it. But at some point, you have to beat somebody. And that's why I was miffed, there are no good wins. There are no good wins there for SMU, so why are we giving them the benefit over a team that we know can play in this playoff and not get run off the field?
Welcome to my way of thinking. Because basically what you just said means that conferences should not have automatic bids into this playoff ever again.
Mm-hmm.
Conference championship games should be wiped off the face of the earth because basically you crammed the ACC and the Big 12 into one game. That's it. Your whole season was one game.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Big 12 was only getting one team. The ACC should have only gotten one team.
Yes.
Unfortunately for you, the one that was out won. And dumb Ward Manuel basically went, well, we can't knock out SMU. So you screwed yourself. Congratulations. Don't be shocked when you're not asked to be on this committee again. Because I don't like chances. Every time I've heard him speak, I feel like people at the NCAA are going, will you please shut up?
Mm-hmm.
Like, do we have to tell you what you don't say out loud? Or Do we need to lock you outside of the room for when we say things like this?
Right.
I mean, I don't really. I'll be honest. We have talked more about this 12th spot, and I don't really care. I honestly, I don't, because Clemson's going to get boat raced by Texas.
I would agree.
SMU, I think, probably plays a much more competitive game with Penn State. Alabama would have been more fun to watch, but that's not what you wanted. That's what you said you wanted, and then you wanted to be fair. We got to let the Big 12 get a team in. We got to let the Mountain West get a team in. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. Oh, but that's the way the bylaws are written. And what are they going to do? None of them have any money. This is not hard to figure out. Oh, clutch my pearls. What will we do if we upset the Mountain West? Ignore them like we already do.
Right. Who cares what they think?
Now, the benefit here is that I actually do think Arizona State probably belongs in. Did you deserve a bye? No. Although Cam Scatabo is a dope.
Yes, he is.
I did love that he said, when they asked him why he struck the Heisman pose, he said, because I feel like people keep forgetting that I'm the best running back in the country. Oh,
good for you.
I salute your confidence, but no, you're not.
Who is the best back in the country? Ashton Gianti, and it's not close.
Not close.
Yeah.
Not even kind of close.
Old Scatabo, though, ended up having, was it 4 touchdowns in that game? At one point, he had an average of like 12 yards a carry. He had like.
How did you just say his name?
Scatabo?
Scatabo.
Cam
Scatabo.
No, I like Scatabo better.
Well, whatever you want.
You want it Scatabo? Then you should spell it that way.
It is spelled that way.
Nope. That would be a C.
Oh, because he doesn't have that little Italian vignette over the E, which is what would make it.
Actually, you want me to say it how it's spelled? It's Skatebo. Congratulations, Skatebo.
I'm better with Skatebo than I am with Scatabo. You're throwing an accent on it that it doesn't have.
Absolutely.
Look, I feel like we got what we wanted. We said, we want this playoff. The problem is much like a lot of things in life. You didn't read the fine print, and the fine print was this was always how this was going to go. We told you from the jump, the 12th team is going to argue with the 13th team. It's just a foregone conclusion. What we didn't necessarily expect is that the 12th team would be a god-awful ACC team, and the 13th team would be Alabama. I do not believe that we thought that was how that was going to go.
Right. Because they lose the argument to all of them, in my opinion.
Except Miami. Miami loses the argument to everybody.
You
had 100 chances to lock this up, and you couldn't do it. Because you can't tackle them out.
Which to me is also kind of how that ACC title game should have gone. That's a win and you're in. Otherwise, the conference championships don't mean anything. As long as you're
exactly what I was trying to tell you.
As long as you're ranked in the top 10, then there's nothing that can change. And I don't think that's the way it should have gone down.
What do you think should have happened?
Alabama should have been the last team.
I disagree with you vehemently. If that was my only two options, then okay. You cannot tell me outside of, well, we beat you. Yeah. And so we've basically shown that close games matter because that's why SMU's still here, right?
Yep.
So close games matter. We had a 2-point conversion to tie you. It was dropped. There's nothing you did. We dropped it. That's the only thing you have on me. You have 2 god-awful losses. I have none. You're the worst of my 3 losses. LSU, but that was at home. I guess LSU's the worst of your 3 losses. One of yours is to Vanderbilt. Another's to Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, yes, that was the terrible one. That
Just
without it, obviously this would have gone differently.
This is how I said this to some Alabama fan who doesn't understand English language. Your second best win was South Carolina's worst loss. Make that make sense to me. Well, we beat you. Okay. and Oklahoma beat you. So do you really want to go down the we beat you path?
Right.
I don't think you do.
You know me, I don't disagree with you. We believed that South Carolina was that team. I just can't believe that the committee looked at the strength of schedules, looked at the outcomes, and went, yeah, 11-2 with no signature wins is better than 9-3 with 3.
Because they didn't have a choice. They didn't have a choice.
I get what you're saying.
Because that second loss came in a conference championship game, and if you had knocked them out next year, that number 10 seed that's getting ready to play in the ACC title game would just look at you and go, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a no from me, dog. And if the other one's in, you get two teams that go, nope, I'm not getting knocked out because I'm playing a game that nobody else has to.
Right.
You painted yourself in a corner because the NCAA is dumb. This is what they do. This is why I rail on this entity every single time they come up, because they are literally too dumb to urinate a hole in the snow. Because this was super predictable.
Mm-hmm.
You've got teams that are playing in a conference championship game that doesn't mean squat. The Big Ten title game didn't mean diddly squat.
Mm-hmm.
Because Oregon would have been the 5 seed, and I could make the argument they would actually be in a better position to get to the college football playoff final as the 5 than they will as the 1. Look at who the 1 has to play.
Yeah. You got no favors as the 1 seed, having to play either Ohio State or Tennessee.
Who I would say both of them are better than Arizona State, which is what I would have gotten, and I got a home date.
Yeah. Meanwhile, it looks like on the other side of the bracket, Georgia's got pretty easy path comparatively to Oregon.
I do not see this. I did until I thought about it a little harder.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did not see this the same way anymore. I've heard, and I think Soaring Eagle said this coming in, that Georgia will just walk to the national title game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not so sure of that. I'm not so sure of a lot of things here. And I saw something over the weekend that is enough to make me question a lot of things. After the break, I'll tell you what that was.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
The PayPal app has amazingly low prices for holiday shopping. Get cashback offers in the app, and when you use the PayPal debit card, PayPal stacks 5% more in the monthly category of your choosing on up to $1,000 in purchases. Don't just pay, PayPal.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
Just a little heads up before something bad happens.
Move your coffee cup away from your computer.
Oh, no. So you can have more control.
Stop. You're texting your boss by mistake.
Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Warning, the cap is loose on that ketchup.
Ugh. Don't wait. You have the power to change the outcome. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its pre-diabetes awareness partners.
WWNC.com.
With live, local breaking news.
And the latest weather and traffic updates.
It's the website preferred by 9 out of 10 people who want to know what's going on.
News Radio 570, WWNC.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
When you get tired of freezing your can at the tailgate, maybe it's time to ring in a new season. Tailgating season. Wherever you are, whatever the forecast, with good old ale, it's the perfect way to kick off game day. From Red Cup Revelry to just kicking it solo, you can't go wrong with Dale's Pale Ale, Dale's Light Lager, and Dale's Easy IPA. Honest ingredients, no BS. Drink responsibly, and we'll see you at the Tailgate.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumping a bag of hammers.
It is ESPN Asheville. You're in the Sportsocracy. It is an Overreaction Monday, and the college football playoff bracket has all been set. Georgia beating Texas in overtime of the SEC championship game meant Georgia now goes up to the 2 seed. You've got Oregon, of course, as the 1 seed. Boise State's the 3, and Arizona State's the 4. Those are your buys.
And yes, it is that dumb. That's why we laugh when we say it.
And then you got Texas against Clemson, Penn State against SMU, Notre Dame against Indiana, and Ohio State and Tennessee. And what should just be a phenomenal first-round matchup. In the horseshoe.
I agree. I really wish it was on Rocky Top.
I do too.
I really wish that game was on Rocky Top. And I feel like losing to Michigan should have been enough that it should have been.
I agree. Problem was that was never going to happen. If that was the line of demarcation, right, you couldn't reevaluate the teams after last week.
Which is, I still maintain that's the dumbest thing anybody's ever said on camera. Right behind, I did not inhale and I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Well, no, I mean, I see where they're coming. I see why that statement gets made. They're not going to play again, so the ones that don't play this week, this is where they're locked in. There's no way that Tennessee can jump over Ohio State. There's no way that Alabama can jump up over Tennessee or Ohio State, the ones that aren't playing.
Unless common sense takes hold. See, basically the argument that you made last week of, well, of course they're putting Alabama in. They're the brand. That didn't mean squat.
Apparently not.
That didn't mean a thing. Because SMU's probably the smallest brand of all the teams that could have gotten in, but you painted yourself in a corner because you said that. I'm not saying you should have reevaluated them, but the minute that you said you weren't going to, okay, now you're either a liar or you're stuck.
But when you reevaluated SMU, you very well could have dropped them 4 spots. You could have dropped them from 8 to 12 or 8 to 13 or
but you also said I can't punish you for playing in a game that the others didn't make it to.
Which is stupid.
Exactly.
Which
that
is
was
stupid.
my whole point.
So what are you trying to tell me? Are you trying to tell me that because Iowa State made it to the Big 12 championship game, they need a spot too? No, they got dusted.
Well, they weren't in the first place. You only had one spot there. SMU was in regardless because they were in the top 12. So, I mean... Look, you stuck to your guns.
The fact that losing doesn't knock you out of the top 12 is the thing that I don't...
Well, if it knocked you out of the top 12, then why would I play in the game? There's absolutely no reason for me to play in this game. That means that I would be in better shape if I had not made this, and you can't do that, which is exactly what I was trying to say. I got nothing but pushback from you of, we got to have the money. Which do you think made more money? The Dr. Pepper Big 12 championship game between Iowa State and Arizona State, or what you would have made off a television deal with Alabama playing in the first round. This is like marketing 101. You never do something that's going to come back to bite you and cost you money. You never put a ceiling on yourself. And they did.
Yep.
Now, you said, going into the break, that you think Georgia's just going to walk.
I mean, it's not going to be a walk, but to me, it's a much lighter path.
I fully
than Oregon
believe
has.
this whole bracket is much closer than any of you want to believe.
Okay.
Let me tell you what confirmed that for me.
All right.
Look at the lines.
Mm-hmm.
First round lines. Indiana's only a 7.5-point dog at Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
That means that would be a 1.5-point game in Indiana. Means those teams are reasonably close.
Mm-hmm.
College football lines don't work like the NFL. 7.5 is a big number in the NFL. It ain't a big number in college football. SMU, the team that we're all railing against, I can't believe they got in. They're an 8.5-point dog against Penn State in Happy Valley.
Mm-hmm.
Clemson's an 11-point dog at Texas. Now, I do think that one's going to go up. I think that one could end up nestling about 14.5. I would still take Texas. Tennessee, 7.5-point dog against Ohio State. What's that telling you?
That there's a clear home field advantage.
Because if you were, and I'm using your words here, you're the more lay better. You're learning more and more, getting better and better.
Yep.
But in terms of, would you consider yourself a sharp?
No, not at all.
How would you bet those 4 games? Indiana, Notre Dame. Indiana plus 7.5.
I would take Indiana.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny because that's the one that I would have taken the favorite. I'd take Notre Dame.
I would have taken them to cover that.
SMU plus 8.5.
I'll take Penn State.
Clemson plus 11.
Oh, I'll take Tennessee or Texas.
Tennessee plus 7.5.
That's it. Tennessee.
You just said 3 of the 4 most obvious ways to bet these games.
Mm-hmm.
Vegas doesn't make a habit of losing money, and this will probably be the biggest betting weekend in college football history. Those lines stink. All of them stink. Indiana has played 2 good teams all year.
Mm-hmm.
One of them, they got their doors blown off by. The betting public tends to undervalue Notre Dame, and so you put it right above a touchdown. That math doesn't math. That's just a number that doesn't make any sense, which means they have a dedicated lean, and it ain't what most of the public thinks, which is Notre Dame's overvalued because they're daring you to take that.
Mm-hmm.
SMU plus 8.5 seems like the layup of all layups. Well, Penn State's one of the best teams in the country. Why is that number so small? They're giving themselves no room for error with a team that just lost to Clemson on the road. Do you see what I'm getting at with this?
No, I don't.
Vegas is basically, do any of those lines scare you at all? Or are you betting all 4 of them with confidence?
Yeah, I'd probably bet all 4 of them with confidence.
That should be the scariest time because Vegas has gold fixtures and you don't, and there's a reason for that.
Mm-hmm.
Because they will do that and just welcome you in to, obviously, of course Indiana's going to cover against Notre Dame. Just take it. We're even giving you a touchdown. We even gave you the hook. So you get a touchdown and then some. Do it. Every one of these games is doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're going to see upsets. I think you're going to see upsets. And the one that probably gets the least betting action is the one that I'm steering away from the most.
Okay.
I fully believe Texas is going to crush Clemson.
Agreed.
What if they don't?
You think Clemson's got a shot to win that game?
What if Texas is overrated? If Texas is overrated, who do you have to reevaluate? Georgia.
No.
Because you haven't done anything outside of that.
Mm-hmm.
You have 2 wins over Texas. Then what? You lost to Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
You struggle like hell with Georgia Tech. Just keep going up and down that schedule going, okay, if you take Texas out of this, all of a sudden that resume seems much thinner than it did a minute ago. I don't think this is a walk for Georgia. CBS Sports put out they had every analyst I think that's ever worked for them went through and picked the bracket.
Mm-hmm.
Over half of them picked Notre Dame to beat Georgia. That's weird to me. I shouldn't even say weird. That's interesting to me.
It's very interesting to me.
I'm not impressed with Georgia at all.
When I saw it, the only thing that came to my mind was they got to be questioning who the quarterback's going to be.
I don't care.
Is it going to be Carson Beck? Is it going to be Gunnar Stockton?
I don't think either one of them are any good.
Really?
So, no. And I don't know what in the world you saw out of Gunnar Stockton that makes you think he was. He had one throw where I went, solid.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, it was a whole lot of, good God, this offense looks like it's in quicksand.
It tends to when you got a guy playing that didn't expect to play.
It looked worse with the starter. I would agree with that, except your starter looked worse.
Well, I mean, we've known that Carson's got problems. I'm not saying it's a perfect scenario to be in, but I'd rather have Gunnar than Carson going into the next game. You give me 3 weeks. You give me 3 weeks to coach him up, and I bet we'd be fine. I bet we'd be fine.
You're really undervaluing experience. You said that before the show. I was curious to see if you would say that into a microphone or not.
Absolutely.
There's a reason he's been sitting on the bench all year long.
Mm-hmm.
Even when Carson Beck went through unbelievable interception issues, there's a reason they didn't at any point. He never picked up a football. I'm not sure he ever put a helmet on.
He did. I mean, he came in and cleaned up.
No. I'm talking about to replace Carson Beck.
No.
Not, hey, we're up by 50.
No.
He at one time threw, 11 interceptions in 4 games or something insane like that? Was it 9 and 3?
It was something like that.
They never at any point went, okay, we'll roll. Let's roll Gunnar Stockton out there. If it was even close, it would have happened. It wasn't. It wasn't close. And now I get 3 weeks to scheme for that kid, knowing damn well that the number one thing he wants to do is run. I don't think that's the positive that you do.
Okay.
I heard a bunch of Georgia fans over the weekend saying, thank God Carson Beck's gone. Oh, we've gotten into Clemson territory of we've gotten so successful that we don't realize that it's hard to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
So just any quarterback we trot out there will be. Then why ain't he played all year?
Well, I mean, it's not like the kid's an absolute bum. It's not like he has no talent.
No, but you're taking it as it's a benefit that he's not Carson Beck, and I think that's comically insane.
It could be.
I think all of you are out of your mind that a guy's going to come into his first start, potentially, ever, is in the college football playoff.
It's happened before. Hadn't it? Didn't it I mean, Cardell Jones, he was pretty close. He had like 2 games in before he went on a run for a national championship. It can happen. I'm not saying it's likely to happen.
I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, Cardell Jones was not what won them that national title. He might have been the one taking snaps.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about a few of the guys that were on that team, and you are not that team. That Georgia team is – the entire time watching that SEC championship game, all I could think about was, good God, these are 2 insanely flawed teams. I know you SEC people love telling me that's the only place that plays good football.
Mm-hmm.
I saw 2 in the Big Ten title game that I think are better than anything you put out there. I'd take Penn State and Oregon over you as we sit right now.
Yeah.
You're trotting in a backup quarterback? Okay. And Texas is just the perpetual Lucy with the football of, oh, look how good we are. Oh, no, we
look how
lost
close
again.
we can get.
And we lost again.
Maybe Texas is overrated. Is Tennessee overrated? I got that win, too.
Yeah, I believe so. Because you very quickly said you would take Tennessee plus the 7.5. 31 years of Tennessee fandom, and I'm still looking at that going, I believe I'm going to be red.
Really?
Yeah. I don't like that matchup at all. That was, as a part-time Tennessee fan, I was looking at Ohio State going, can it be anybody else but them? That really upset team that's really tired of hearing people talk about Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and we got to go to Ohio State. That's not going to be awesome.
It won't be awesome, but I mean, it does give you more fuel for the fire. Josh Heupel will have his crew ready to go, and I think it's going to be a phenomenal back and forth battle between those two.
I have to admit, I don't. I think it's going to be.
You think experience is going to matter, and
I think Tennessee's going to get their face mushed with a freshman quarterback
against
a team that has, at last count, 9 guys that start on that defense that would not just be NFL draft picks; they will be high NFL draft picks within the next 2 years.
They're going to toy with him.
I mean, I haven't seen. I saw Nico throw it down the field against Vanderbilt. And then I've seen an offense that completely stagnates. And the one thing I have seen that Tennessee has struggled with is speed on the perimeter. They have Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't want to see this matchup at all. Give me Penn State. For the love of God, give me Penn State.
Right.
Not Ohio State.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Did the committee get it right? Does it sway you how the betting is going right now? Are the odds that crazy? Or is Vegas baiting you? All food for thought here in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. When we come back from the break, it'll be time to get weird.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Wet weather from today, tapering off into the afternoon hours. It does stay mild here, not only today, but the next few days. Low 60s today, most of our showers now for the afternoon over, mainly cloudy. Tonight, mainly after midnight toward morning, another round of showers coming in, 45, so well above freezing. Tuesday, some fog in the morning, scattered showers, maybe a late day thunderstorm, 62. Rain showers may end late as snow showers Wednesday, upper 40s. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Britt and Tilson Glass.
Hi, this is Matt Burns.
And Bill Britt of Britt and Tilson Glass and Shower Door Company. We want our neighbors to know that we are still here and ready to serve you.
At our new location, 44 Buck Shoals Road in Arden. Text us at 828-469-0600 and online at BrittonTilson.com.
At Harbor Freight, our low prices make us the place for gifts that keep on giving. Because when you give the gift of quality tools, you're giving someone the ability to fix, restore, and build for years to come. And with savings like these, you can even get something for yourself. Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight. Stop by and give yourself the gift of great prices.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at EnduranceWarranty.com. If you have a 2004 or newer vehicle that's out of warranty or about to be, Endurance is urgently notifying U.S. drivers about their low-cost vehicle coverage plan designed to save drivers thousands on rising vehicle repair costs. Those who qualify can pick their plan, coverage, and repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental cars included. All covered repairs get paid directly to the repair shop for you. Call now for your free quote. Call 800-431-8958. That's 800-431-8958.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at ClarissaSellsWNC.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or ClarissaSellsWNC@gmail.com.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks community heroes, like Eric, who hosted the football team to support their neighbors and begin the cleanup efforts, like Jeff and Chris, who led a fleet of Ford commercial vehicles throughout the night, delivering supplies with emergency services to all corners of the county and first responders. Nominate your community hero at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, and it's time to get weird. And for a long time in American food products, there have been a lot of what do you call them, like lightning rod issues, right? Certain things that are focused on in the health and what's being put into our food, GMOs and things like that. Well, one is...
I really hate my GMO. I'd like to be able to go to the doctor more often.
That's an HMO.
Oh, shoot.
That's not it. That's not it.
My GMO truck that broke down all the time. That's a GMC.
That's a GMC.
Oh,
no, red food dye, right? We've heard stories about red food dye and its effects on kids and chemical brain imbalances and things like that has been studied for years and years and years. Well, we're finally getting to a point where the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, has said that it could soon act to crack down upon the additive known as Red 3, derived from petroleum and used to provide a cherry red coloring to an array of foods.
Did you say it was derivative of petroleum?
Yes, it is.
That's not good for a guy that, I mean, I like candy a lot, and I think that's in all of it.
Have you not been watching Landman? Have you not heard, do you not remember the spiel that he went on in, episode 4 about all of the things in America that come from oil and petroleum products?
I did. I actually almost recorded that and posted it on social media.
No doubt about
it. Especially when he started talking about wind. You literally couldn't live long enough for you to see any financial restitution from that.
Right. But the FDA may be cracking down on Red 3 and just outright banning Red 3. Says, with Red 3, this is a quote from one of the officials with the FDA.
Oh, I see where this is.
He says, with Red 3, we have a petition in front of us to revoke the authorization board, and we're hopeful that in the next few weeks, we'll be acting on that petition. Now, this was said by the FDA's Deputy Commissioner for Human Foods. The Deputy Commissioner for Human Foods, who also wants to remove red dye number 3 from food. What's the funniest name that I could give you right now?
Colin Fatass.
I mean, that would be pretty funny. I'll give you a point for that one. No, the guy's name is Jim Jones. Oh, man. Kool-Aid just can't catch a break.
I'm not going to lie. Does he wear sunglasses all the time? Maybe smoke a few crimes. Maybe do a little churching. My story is about a content creator.
Don't drink it.
If he hands you Kool-Aid, you throw that in the bushes. And you say goodbye to that bush because it's going to DYE. See what I did there? My story is about a content creator named Jasenia Rebecca. She's 29 years old. Trying to make a little extra money for the holidays.
Oh, gosh.
And I'm not going to lie. She is she is not hard on the eyes. She's come up with an idea. It's a great service for the holidays for single guys.
This is going to gross me out, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Okay.
She has come up with a Christmas girlfriend package. There's a silver, gold, and platinum. Silver is $250 plus.
Everything's negotiable.
You said it, not me. Get 2 hours at dinner, matching outfits, and she'll tell a few jokes.
Okay.
For $250. She'll go with you to your family's outing. You can say she is your girlfriend. Just hope your dad doesn't spend a lot of time on the interwebs. For $450, get 3 hours at dinner, a cute backstory of how we met, and photos with the family.
Oh, wonderful.
I mean, okay, so this is where I stopped and went, do we really need photographic evidence of the time that we found the OnlyFans hooker to come to Christmas
I didn't
dinner?
know if he was going to dance around that.
Nope.
Yeah.
Then platinum, this is the big boy package. 6 hours with the family. First of all, I don't want to spend 6 hours with my family whether you're here or not. All the prior packages, she will say, I love you in front of your family. You get a kiss on the cheek. She'll wash the dishes with your mom. And a close friends post with your family.
Huh. That's bold.
How big of an absolute loser do you have to be to go, I'm doing that?
Yeah.
I paid $600 for a kiss on the cheek. You would do better at a strip club in Amish country than that. Them rates is crazy.
The rent is too damn high.
It is too high. Wow. I mean, don't get me wrong. said,
Yeah, I mean, I see where you're going here, but this is ridiculous. My question is why, precisely what you just said. Why would you want photographic evidence of the time that you had to pay someone to come sit with your family?
I paid an OnlyFans hooker to come do Thanksgiving. I don't need the photographic evidence of that. Look, I've not cleared this with my wife, but I am willing to offer one Christmas package of I will attend your family's Christmas, and I will be so unbelievably inappropriate that they will never harass you about dating again, ever. Your taste will be questioned to such a point that they will never ask you when you're getting married again.
Yeah, absolutely.
They will just beg you, please, God, do not bring that lumberjack back here.
Yes, gentlemen, send him your email addresses. Jeremy at thesportsocracy.com.
That wasn't for the gents there, I thought that was pretty obvious.
It wasn't very obvious because there are no women that would go for this. You would never. I don't believe you would ever see this work for women. I'll hire you to take you to my family. I don't think that works. I think that's only something that we see in like Hallmark movies.
Yeah, I feel like we could put this out there. There are a lot of really judgmental families when it comes to women's dating choices and getting married and having kids. Thankfully, I'm not in one of those.
Right.
My family absolutely loves Amy, and they still. I mean, my dad will still look at her at Christmas dinner and go, "Blink twice if you're in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
If you're being held here against your will, just." That's how bad my taste was.
Yeah. I just feel like if they were gonna do that, they probably wouldn't. I don't know. Bringing you home to meet the family, that's not a good. I'm not saying they would do it for me either. They'd be like, "Why are you dating a pedophile?" But
he went there.
This doesn't make any kind of sense to me.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to bring the drunk mountain man to Thanksgiving dinner.
Which one do you want, the drunk mountain man or the science experiment gone wrong? Sportsocracy is here for you.
That's right.
You know why women don't have to do that? Because every one of you have 7 dudes that you friend zoned that would kill 3 people that they like just for the opportunity to go to Christmas dinner with you. The only problem is that then you're going to have to get them off your front steps and you're going to need a pressure washer to do it.
Mm-hmm.
No! It was to get them off. Go away. Being weird.
All right, you are in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville on an Overreaction Monday.
We have 2 super chats, and one of them is phenomenal.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
I'm going to read these in reverse order just simply because the other one is a topic that we can discuss further. Red Sea, at least Tank is self-aware with how he'd look in that scenario.
No doubt.
It's one of the things I've always appreciated about Tank is that he is a man that looks in the mirror and just goes, "Oh, good God, what is that?"
Right.
That's like a Picasso painting just to put into motion.
I do that every day. I'll stand in front of the mirror and my wife will be, getting ready or something, and I'll just go, "What in the hell do you see in this? This is just awful." I look like a Mr. Potato Head that was left in a back car window too long in 1975.
You look like a hobbit with a glandular problem.
I feel like I have a glandular problem right now. It is 87 degrees in this studio.
I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt and I'm fine. I think you're going.
Holy smokes!
I think you're going through the chain, sir.
I think so. Yeah,
you're over there.
Menopause is hell.
You're sweating like Hunter Biden in front of a grand jury right now.
Good God.
Daddy said I didn't have to do this.
I can't take much more clothes off, Jeremy, or it's going to get uncomfortable.
Or I'll go home. Straight up. You do the last hour of the show by yourself.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
This one's from Soaring Eagle. Fact or fiction, if Texas doesn't turn this over to Arch Manning, there's a chance they'll be one and done to Clemson in Austin.
I want to say fact on that.
I kind of do too, because Quinn Ewers. You talk about a guy who, my opinion of him has changed so drastically. He was my number 1 quarterback in the class, and then he wasn't. And now I have a borderline draftable grade on him.
Right. It's been horrific. from a guy who was projected at some point to be the number one pick in this upcoming draft. I mean, that was years ago, obviously, like when he was coming out of high school. But still, I mean, to make that kind of a fall, he's doing a lot of NFL teams some favors here.
For sure. And just remember, in the pre-NIL times, you would have found these things out in his rookie year for the New Orleans Saints.
Right. Let's be thankful that we have this information to go on now. But I kind of agree with it. At some point, they have to realize that Quinn Ewers isn't the answer.
Gigi Gambling said, isn't Quinn Ewers playing hurt? Has it taken a toll on him? Well, he's always hurt.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't drink enough milk as a child, and his bones are made of glass. And he gets hurt anytime somebody looks at him too angrily.
Mm-hmm. I don't know that it's Texas is overrated. I know you had mentioned that in the last segment. Or
you
segment
at
before
no
last.
point Saturday looked at this team and went, why can you not finish anything? They beat your brains out in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
They scored 6 points.
Yes. It was pitiful. They kept coming up with, I mean, there was answer after. You want to talk about having horseshoes up your keister. Georgia had that. Georgia's had that. Hell, I've seen that happen with my pro football team, too. God, if I had a nickel for every time my dad mentioned we beat the Detroit Lions yesterday. Watching that game with him. It's a one-off, man. It's just a one-off. Don't get excited about it.
Texas found a way with a quarterback who threw for 358 yards to score 19 points and lose to a team that combined. I want to see how close you can get to this. How many yards did Georgia pass for in that entire game?
222.
Lower.
Was it 198?
Lower.
174.
Lower.
160 something.
Lower.
I don't know. What was it?
136. You had 136 yards passing.
That's not good.
Gunnar Stockton was 12 of 16 for 71 yards and an interception, which is why when you said, oh, we'll be fine with him. How drunk were you by the end of this game? Because I don't think you're remembering how this actually went.
Going to be fine. It's going to be just fine.
Your quarterback that averaged the most yards per attempt was Drew Bobo.
Yeah, I get it.
Think about what I just said.
He had one pass. Yes, it was.
Well, it wouldn't be his one pass that would be bothering me. It would be the fact that he's an offensive lineman.
It was the trick play. Of course he had of course it was a one-off.
I look at teams like that literally everything went the way of Texas, and you couldn't find a way to win in a game that you had no excuse to lose. It's hard for me to believe in that. It really is. I look up and down the bracket at who is the team that I feel the best about. And that's outside of Oregon, it's hard for me to give you anybody. Because I don't believe in Georgia at all. I just don't. You do not look like a national championship team. I don't believe in Texas. I don't believe in Penn State. I think it goes without saying that I skipped 3 and 4, but I think you already know why I did that.
Right.
One of them plays on a blue field, and the other one's mascot is a sun devil. I'm going with it ain't going to be you, bruh.
Right.
I think this thing's wide open. I really do. If I had to bet money on it, I would say Oregon. And if I had to give you a second one, and I know this is going to sound crazy, it's Ohio State. If I had to give you the second team that I had the most belief in, it would be Ohio State.
All right. So the winner's coming. The winner could possibly come out of that second round matchup.
I just feel like the SEC is being given a lot of, and I understand it. They've been the best conference forever. You're giving them a lot of flowers because they're beating each other. I'm not sure any of them were all that good. I mean, Georgia was the class of the conference. You're the conference champion. At any point have you looked at them and gone, that's a real threat this year? No. The answer is no, unless you're just completely delusional.
They don't look like a world beater. You're right.
Texas never really looked that way to me either. Alabama certainly didn't look that way to me. The only one that I ever really felt all that good about was South Carolina. And it was at the end, and you had basically already made your bed.
Right.
And that was only because the defense was so good. Georgia has a lot of players on defense. Texas has a lot of players on defense. If you're that good defensively, why did you just let Quinn Ewers pick you apart for 4 quarters? Oh, bend, don't break. Well, good luck with that, because you're going to play a few teams here that you'll bend and break.
You very well could. You get teams that can spread the field on you, run real fast. Maybe. The Georgia Bulldogs, though, they've pretty much found a way to limit everybody except for Alabama and Ole Miss.
I was about to say, you didn't limit Ole Miss at any point.
No. And that was a team that you struggled with more than you should have.
So what you're saying is you struggle with teams that are going to stretch the field on you. Man, you better hope Indiana beats Notre Dame. Because Notre Dame does that a lot.
Yep. I'm not saying it's not going to be exciting. Of course it's going to be exciting. I still feel like that path is easier than Oregon's path, because I do not want to have to go through Ohio State. I do not want to have to go through Tennessee. I do not want to have to go through Texas again. And that stacks up pretty big. That stacks up pretty big on that side for Oregon. They will have earned it if they come out as a national champion, and I got a feeling that they're going to. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
Attention all football fans. Old Spice Swagger Deodorant 4-pack is back at Costco. Get ready to unleash the greatest smell in the NFL. Old Spice Swagger is the ultimate 24/7 odor protection for all the football fanatics out there when used daily. But here's the catch, folks. This limited time offer won't last forever, so head to Costco and grab your 4-pack of Swagger Deodorant. Don't let those game-winning moments be overshadowed by unwanted odors. Get your Old Spice Swagger Deodorant now.
How would you like to come home to a bartender who will fix you any cocktail you want?
I'll have an old-fashioned.
I'll have a margarita.
Now you can with the Bartesian Home Cocktail Maker. Bartesian is a slick machine the size of a coffee maker that makes premium cocktails at the touch of a button. Choose from over 60 different cocktails, from classics to the most exotic premium cocktails served in the best bars today. You'll always get freshly mixed, perfectly balanced cocktails with the Bartesian Cocktail Maker. And now, get Bartesian's best deal of the year when you go to bartesian.com/cocktail. Entertaining? The Bartesian is ideal for parties. No need to stock all kinds of individual mixers for complicated recipes. Every guest gets the cocktail of their choice in seconds. The Bartesian makes a wonderful gift for anyone who loves a fine, premium cocktail. Now get Bartesian's best holiday deal of the year. It's available right now only at bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail. For Bartesian's best holiday deal of the year, only at bartesian.com/cocktail.
Are you going to start the new year dealing with the same old joint pain, losing sleep, not able to take walks or do what you love because your knees or hips? Don't do it. Take action now to get the pain relief you deserve for 2025. Call QC Kinetics now. Say goodbye to shoulder and back pain. QC Kinetics local medical professionals are waiting for you. Their advanced protocols and regenerative medicine have helped tens of thousands of people. I'm talking lasting relief. Imagine a new year without those achy joints. No more pain pills? No more steroid shots. QC Kinetics uses the healing properties of your own body to attack the root cause of your pain, revitalizing your joints so you can move again. This is the future of medicine. If you've been told surgery is your best or only option, you deserve a second opinion. Find out if all-natural regenerative medicine is right for you. Call QC Kinetics. The consultation is free, and you can use HSA and FSA dollars. Live your best life in 2025. Get started now. Call 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
When you get tired of freezing your can at the tailgate, maybe it's time to ring in a new season. Tailgating season. Wherever you are, whatever the forecast, with good old ale, it's the perfect way to kick off game day. From Red Cup Revelry to just kicking it solo, you can't go wrong with Dale's Pale Ale, Dale's Light Lager, and Dale's Easy IPA. Honest ingredients, no BS. Drink responsibly, and we'll see you at the tailgate.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Wet weather from today, tapering off into the afternoon hours. It does stay mild here, not only today, but the next few days. Low 60s today, most of our showers now for the afternoon over, mainly cloudy. Tonight, mainly after midnight toward morning, another round of showers coming in, 45, so well above freezing. Tuesday, some fog in the morning, scattered showers, maybe a late day thunderstorm, 62. Rain showers may end late as snow showers Wednesday, upper 40s. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by eBay. We all got a thing. Yes, even you. If you love fashion, car parts, trading cards, whatever you're into, it's on eBay. So go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
When you're ready to go back in the day,
Y'all gonna make me lose my mind.
check out the all-new Throwbacks 101.1.
This is how we do it. Allow me to introduce myself.
Asheville's classic hip-hop and R&B. Come on.
At Harbor Freight, our low prices make us the place for gifts that keep on giving. Because when you give the gift of quality tools, you're giving someone the ability to fix, restore, and build for years to come. And with savings like these, you can even get something for yourself. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight. Stop by and give yourself the gift of great prices.
Watching Clorox cleanup spray dissolve tough grime in the shower feels like...
Wait, this really just happened? I'm shocked. Underwear and everything?
It feels like being able to zip up your overpacked suitcase on the first try.
Smooth.
With Clorox, clean feels satisfying. Clean feels good. Use as directed.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls studio.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy, heard everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app. Seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, join us in the chat. It is an Overreaction Monday. Top of the third hour of the program, as always on a Monday. It's stock up, stock down from the weekend. A lot decided with the college football playoff. We had, you had some big performances in the NFL this weekend as well. So, stock up, stock down from the weekend. Jeremy, you want to take the first one here?
Go ahead.
Ooh. Well, I want to do a stock down for the college football playoff committee.
You're entitled to do that.
But I'm not gonna because the more we talked about it, the more I'm like, you know what? Alabama shouldn't have lost to Oklahoma. And if you'd have just taken care of business there, we wouldn't have anything to be upset about. But I will go stock up for the ACC because I feel like you got two teams into the college football playoff, and regardless of what the future holds for that, I didn't think you were doing it. I didn't think you'd get two in.
I'm not sure it's positive that you did.
Why? If both your teams get embarrassed, then that's going to look worse.
You get a house, you'll never do it again. And you could. And look, you're playing arguably the two of the five best teams in the country.
Mm-hmm.
In their houses. There's a possibility you could get beat by 30 twice. And this committee has said multiple times, we're not having a repeat of TCU or Cincinnati or all these teams just got the crap beat out of them. Well, trust me, you can get both your teams smoked.
Mm-hmm.
They will not forget it.
Yeah. And there's a possibility that Penn State's real strong, facing off against SMU, and then, of course, there's Clemson and Texas. But, hey, at least you get one more marquee game.
I will go stock down the Atlanta Falcons. What exactly would you say that was? Not only did you let Sam Darnold just do whatever he wanted to. Kirk was okay.
Mm-hmm.
Offensively, you were fine. Why'd you only score 21 points? How'd you give up 42 points? That's one of the weirdest games I've ever seen. And for it to be Kirk's return to Minneapolis, it rang so hollow. As I watched that game, all I could think about was Tampa Bay is by default going to win this division because none of the other three have any desire or ability to do so. Atlanta now has a second coaching staff with this same group of players that they can do absolutely nothing. Kyle Pitts yesterday, you care to guess his stat line?
Oh, was he like 0 catches for 2 targets or something?
He had 6 targets.
Okay.
He caught 1 pass for 14 yards.
Wow.
On the year. They've now played 13 games.
Mm-hmm.
How many catches does Kyle Pitts have?
I don't know, 42.
You're too high.
Really?
It's 36.
Yikes.
For 508 yards and 3 touchdowns.
That's pitiful.
This is one of the greatest tight end prospects we've ever seen.
Yeah.
And you have found a way to make him just a little worse than Pat Freiermuth. Congratulations on that.
Wow.
I have another one that I really, really want, and I don't believe you will take it.
Okay.
So I'm going to say stock up LA Rams. That was a signature victory that kept you in the playoff hunt. I do feel like it's giving a little bit of a false sense of hope. Because at the end of the day, you did still give up 42 points, and you also allowed Josh Allen to become the first quarterback in NFL history to throw for 3 touchdowns and rush for 3 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
But in a very wide-open NFC, you did give yourself hope. And there's something to be said for that.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to get in a playoffs where your opposing quarterbacks are going to be some combination of Jared Goff, Jalen Hurts, Baker Mayfield, Jordan Love, Sam Darnold, and Jaden Daniels. Matthew Stafford's better than every quarterback I just said. Some of them by a lot. You kept yourself in the thick of it. And I feel like Arizona has kind of played their way out. I feel like now there's 8 teams that can make it in the NFC. And yes, I am writing off Atlanta, even though they are only a game out of their own division. I do not care.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was a very good stock up by you. I definitely was going to take that next.
I know it helps when you say it on social media because that does tell me you're strategic.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, you said it's the Rams and it's not even close, which was
yeah.
real easy for me to go, hey, if he doesn't take that first, I probably should.
I probably should take that. Good selection. All right, I'm going to go stock down for the Saquon as the MVP argument. Because, yes, he is having a fantastic season, and he rolled off another 124 yards yesterday. But at some point, you have to realize facts are facts, and this is not a running back award. And I don't care if he breaks the record. What Josh Allen is doing with the Buffalo Bills is nothing short of Herculean. He scored 6 total touchdowns yesterday, something that only like a handful of quarterbacks in the history of the game have ever done. And he's the first one ever to do it 3 times through the air and 3 times on the ground. Mm-hmm. There's not a discussion anymore. There shouldn't be a discussion I'm a big Saquon fan, and you know that.
I felt that way for quite some time.
I know you have. But I'm saying at this point, we got to put this to bed. Saquon is on track. If everything keeps going the way he's been going, he could set the record for the most rushing yards in a season. He could catch Eric Dickerson, break the 1984 record. And he could also do it in just 16 games before that 17th game comes around. But I still don't think he's got a shot at winning the MVP while Josh Allen is still around.
Josh Allen is now a minus 400 favorite. Saquon Barkley plus 450. Nobody else is plus less than 1,000.
There you go.
It's a foregone conclusion.
Yes, this should be the end of it. This week should be the end of that discussion.
And then,
I'm going to go stock down for the Arizona Cardinals.
That's a good one.
It was not one of those games that made me think, "Oh God, this is all falling apart." But this was a game you had to have.
It was your season.
Right. This was a game you had to have, and your offense came out and was not good. Do you make much out of the Kyler Murray's not running thing?
No.
Then what is it? What is the thing that is holding that offense back right now?
No, the fact you allowed an NFL football team to rush for 5.7 yards a carry is not a good start.
No.
Because that allows Geno Smith to just sit back. And look, Geno wasn't good. And Geno sat back and picked you apart. He did everything he needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
At no point did you really even put up much of a fight. You just looked like you brought a knife to a gunfight. You were outclassed by the Seahawks for the second time. And now I will say I do not see a path that you make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I am going to go stock up Cam Scatterbo. That kid is really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go ahead and tell you he made himself quite a bit of money on Saturday. Because a lot of people had not seen him. And he has really been the catalyst of that Arizona State offense. I will be interested, and we will actually see him because you and I will be at the Peach Bowl on New Year's Day.
Mm-hmm.
I am interested to see him up close and personal. I don't know exactly what his NFL future holds. This is an interesting running back class because you've got a lot of them. And I can't quite figure out where to put him in. But at the very least, you had a day that you'll remember for the rest of your life. You won your team a Big 12 title.
Mm-hmm.
You were that good. You said you wouldn't do it. I'm going to do it.
Yep.
Stock down to the College Football Playoff Committee. Not because I think you got it wrong, but because I think you handled it wrong. You took out all of there was zero drama to Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
None. Because I watched every bit of this, and I figured out at about halftime of SMU, all they got to do is make this competitive, and they'll still get in. Because you said it. Mm-hmm. If you had just kept that to yourself, we would have had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
But you couldn't do that because you're the NCAA, and you have to screw things up. The NCAA to me is like the government. The 9 scariest words in the English language are I'm from the government, and I'm here to help.
Mm-hmm.
I could take government out, put NCAA in, and we're fine.
From the official pronunciation guide of Arizona State, by the way, it's Scattaboo.
The only reason I was so confident in the pronunciation of his name is I was listening to the Arizona State broadcast of that game.
Right.
So I got to hear him say his name 4,000 times.
Right. All right. So you went stock down for the CFP there. Very good. Can I go stock down for an entire game?
Yes.
Because I want to do Jacksonville Jaguars, Tennessee Titans.
Ooh.
What on earth was that I looked over at one point in the third quarter and it was 3-0, and I went, "Thank God that's on a corner in the in the bar that I can't see. It's behind a pole that I don't really want to look around." You talk about some bad teams. That's two real suck teams, and the Jaguars. Why? Why do you do this to your fans? Somebody had to win that game. And I guess Tennessee just went, here, you have it.
It was an abomination. I told you if you watch more than 2 plays of this game, you should have your head examined.
Mac Jones against Will Levis. Did you see Will Levis's QBR for that game? It was 20.6. Meanwhile, Mac Jones had a paltry 32.9. And it's salt on NFL eyeballs.
It was bad.
Yes. So, who do I have to come up with something positive here?
Yeah, you have 3 stock down, so it would probably help.
Well.
For once, I'm balanced. I've got 2 up and 2 down.
Yeah. I'm not staying balanced though, because I'm going, and this is of no doing of their own. But I'm going stock down for the Tennessee Volunteers because they did not do you any favors to end up with Ohio State in the first round and having to go on the road to play in the Horseshoe. It's not how you wanted to see that go down. I mean, maybe it inspires you to get up for that game on the road, but of all the ways that could have came down, it's probably one of the worst matchups, I would think, for Tennessee.
I will go 2 very quick stock ups. Stock up San Francisco 49ers. That was a very impressive win against the Bears team that should have gotten a fired coach bump. They didn't. They had 4 yards in the first half. Congratulations. That's hard to do. And then I will go another stock up to the Las Vegas Raiders. With the Jacksonville Jaguars loss, you are on the clock. The Raiders now have the number 1 pick in the draft. All they have to do is lose out.
Yep.
There are 2 quarterbacks. One's going 1, one's going 2. The Raiders made it almost impossible with the schedule they have remaining that they won't get a crack at one of them.
There you go. Las Vegas Raiders ready to pick Shedeur Sanders.
That's the one they want. And his father wants him in Vegas. And I do find it funny that there's a great chance Antonio Pierce remains the head coach of that team solely because of that, which would give me the old bubble guppies if I was a Raiders fan.
All right. Lastly, I guess I will go with a stock up. I'm at least going to do 2 stock ups here. I'm on stock up for Bryce Young once again. Because it came down to the end of the game, and he started making those plays again, where you went, okay, that was the kid that I saw pull out those plays at the end of the year. I immediately went back to the Texas game. When he was at Alabama, remember how he saved that game on the road at Texas with the final play? Like, he's playing with that level of confidence now. And had Xavier Legette been able to cling on to that ball, we could be talking about the biggest upset in the NFL this year today.
And some jackal that cost himself $3.1 million. Yeah, look, I think Bryce Young is better the less he has to think, which tells me this is all mental. It's always been mental. And if you're Carolina, that's a good thing. Because that means all you've got to do is make sure to keep his mind clear, and he will continue to improve. We have breaking news that probably does not need the button.
Oh, well, shoot.
We just got confirmation Jonathan Brooks retore his ACL yesterday.
Oh, no.
Second time, 13 months.
No good.
No. And I feared it the second he went down. It was completely non-contact, and he had there's a look, and he had it.
I
know this pain. I remember this pain, and just really, really unfortunate. Kid worked really hard to get back, and it is the same one that he tore before.
Man. T's and P's. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
At Harbor Freight, our low prices make us the place for gifts that keep on giving. Because when you give the gift of quality tools, you're giving someone the ability to fix, restore, and build for years to come. And with savings like these, you can even get something for yourself. Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight. Stop by and give yourself the gift of great prices.
The Ingalls Giving Tree benefiting Manna Food Bank will be on display at the Asheville Mall as a reminder of the needs of so many families in western North Carolina. Drop off non-perishable items in the donation barrels at all Ingalls locations, donate online or at the Ingalls Giving Tree at Asheville Mall so Manna Food Bank can reach everyone who needs help. Nothing can hold back the holiday spirit of giving in western North Carolina. Please help Ingalls Market, iHeartRadio Asheville, WLOS, and the Asheville Citizen-Times ensure Manna Food Bank can fill thousands of empty plates this holiday season.
When you're ready to go back in the day,
Y'all gonna make me lose my mind.
check out the all-new Throwbacks 101.1.
This is how we do it.
Allow me to introduce myself. Asheville's classic hip-hop and R&B. Come on.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or photo.
To welcoming new family members. From rediscovering the great outdoors to perfecting Let's Stay In. At Ingalls, we're so proud to play a part in your everyday adventures and all your celebrations. So here's to taking a pause and taking it all in. Merry Christmas from Ingalls.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
It is ESPN Asheville. You're in the Sportsocracy. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. Your home for Tar Heel football and basketball.
And next year, that Tar Heel football might be just a whale more interesting.
It very well could be. Can bringing an NFL program to college work? In the NIL age, this is a business more than it ever has been.
For sure.
Today, Bill Belichick, we're waiting on the official word to come down. I heard on Friday that the decision was going to get made before the weekend was out. And then Saturday, it was decisions definitely coming tomorrow. And then yesterday, it was any moment now. And that is now stretched into 2:23 on Monday afternoon.
Oh, no.
That the talks are ongoing, and just mere moments ago, Bill Belichick was on with Pat McAfee. And in the interview, obviously, he said, "What's the deal? Are you taking the job?" And he obviously was non-committal, as Bill Belichick can only be.
He had to start it with if, and that's a big if.
Yes. He said, we've had a couple of good conversations with the Chancellor, Lee Roberts, at UNC. He says, we'll see how it goes. And then, of course, he ended with, we'll see. However, he did go down the path of, if I happen to be the head of a college program, that the college program would be a pipeline to the NFL for the players that had the ability to play in the NFL. It would be a professional program. Training, nutrition, scheme, coaching, and techniques that would all transfer to the NFL. This is what we talked about on Friday, Jeremy, of if Bill Belichick is going to do this and he comes in to Carolina, what would keep him from swaying players in that manner? Come play for me. I'm getting you to the league. Who else out there is going to turn out better NFL players than I will?
Well, it's just a different way of looking at it. You know, we were talking about this morning, and you look around the ACC, there's your advantage if you're Carolina. You're going to be able to out-scheme everybody in this conference because there's not great coaches in this conference. And so you would have Bill, the latest rumor is that this would be setting Steve up to be the coach in waiting, and that he would bring Matt Patricia and Joe Judge and a handful of other guys that were NFL guys into Chapel Hill to basically relaunch this football program.
Mm-hmm.
There's a merit to that. I don't think Bill would be out recruiting. He would run this much the way Bobby Bowden did towards the end at Florida State. I have really good coordinators. Jimbo Fisher was running the program. That was an open secret. And Bobby was really just there to be the CEO. And I think it can work. And I've made phone calls. I have not heard this is as close as you have. But I will tell you this. One of the things that you can always look for in a coaching search is you start listing off the wish list. Because every team goes into a search and they have 5 guys that they want to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
Arthur Smith was very high on this list. He was not interested. They spoke to John Sumrall. He withdrew his name from consideration.
Mm-hmm.
The only name other than Bill that's still left on this list is Jeff Monken. I don't see a way that Carolina, a school that's pretty good at PR, you can't promise me Bill Belichick and then wind up with Jeff Monken. You're beat before it really even started.
Right.
Jeff's a great coach, but he's not a name that's going to move the needle in terms of the transfer portal and recruiting. That's just not who he is. So I am about 75-25 that this is actually going to happen. And if it does, it becomes, without a doubt, the most interesting story in college football for 2025.
I would agree. It will definitely be up there. How good can Bill Belichick be at building a program? How can the name Bill Belichick be beneficial to you in the recruiting process? Because I don't foresee Bill going living room to living room.
No.
Being that guy.
But in all fairness, a lot of these guys don't do that at this point.
They've got people to do that for them.
Mm-hmm.
You're the closer, right? They're going to bring you to the wizard, basically. They're going to find you, and they're going to go, we're going to take a little trip. We're going to go see Bill. And then we'll take them back to Chapel Hill. We'll walk them in there and then let Bill, nail this down. However he needs to, whatever he needs to say to this guy to get him to commit. I think it's got quite the potential. I just don't. I've never seen it happen before. It's one of those things that I'm on board, and I hope to God it works, and I hope it's a great success. And I see very few ways where it can go wrong. But in the end,
well, your baseline's just so low at Carolina,
right?
I mean, Mac Brown is without a doubt the most successful coach in your history.
Yes.
2, 3, 4, and 5 were all in the 20s.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, even a modicum of success here, and you're a legend. I think Bill's got a handful of years left in him. I think he wants to win in a way that he can distance himself from it all being Tom. And college is an interesting way to do that. I also look at the psychology of this. And now I'm going super over the top. But if Bill were to bring a national title to North Carolina,
mm-hmm.
they'd build statues of this dude.
Absolutely.
He could be here 4 total years, 3 total years. If one of those he just gets to the playoff, he's immediately second best coach in program history.
No doubt about it.
And I think that's alluring to him.
You don't have great success. Well, he's got everything that he could possibly want. I mean, he doesn't quite have the bank account, obviously, of a SEC team or a Big Ten team, but
they would be having to come off a lot of that to get him here. I refuse to believe that they're not.
What do you mean?
Carolina's got big money donors.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that would make me a little bit nervous if I was a Carolina fan, and this is something that I've hinted at on the show before, in the era of NIL, you only have so much money in the coffers. Carolina wants to be good at everything.
Mm-hmm.
So they're putting out money into sports that very few others are. Where do you think the money for NIL in football that Bill Belichick's going to demand to show up here, where do you think that's coming from? It's the basketball team. It's the only place you've got to pull from, unless you've got boosters that are willing to pay large money for Bill Belichick, which I'm not going to say I struggle to believe. I just struggle to believe, well, why have you never been here before?
I mean,
why have you always had to settle for your 7th choice?
That's a great question. That's one thing that I've always felt about this program is it's usually just, I will take what's left.
New money does not tend to appear in college football.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been there. Texas A&M's always had money. Oklahoma State's always had money. You don't tend to find schools. Colorado was a really rare instance, but theirs was internal infighting in the program that pushed a lot of boosters out, and then they came back around for Deion Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
That's not new money. That's almost like leaving $100 in a winter jacket pocket and you find it the next winter. That's still your money.
Right. But how many Carolina boosters are at the point where they realize they have to make a shot? Like they have to take a shot to be good in football if they want to be competitive. Right? More shuffling of conferences can still happen. We've been talking about Florida State, Clemson, possibly Carolina, whoever wanting to jump off to the SEC or wherever that still goes. That's still an option on the table.
That's the most interesting part of this to me.
And so what if Bill Belichick leads them into the SEC as the new football power? Not necessarily they're not going to be on the level of a Georgia or an Alabama or a Texas immediately. But if you can set this up to where you can go in and not get, Central Florida, you go into a big conference and then you just disappear.
This is, to me, I look at Bubba Cunningham and the decision makers at Carolina, this almost feels like a litmus test. If you want to be considered with the Florida States and the Clemsons and even SMU,
mm-hmm.
Louisville, these big money programs, they print money. Every school I just said, they have donors and boosters that are 3 times what Carolina has in football. If you want to be considered for any kind of movement, and I don't believe in coincidences, and the fact that they have gotten enough of a commitment to make a run at Bill, you would have to have a lot already situated to be able to take the Bill, or he wouldn't have listened to you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, I know he wants to get back into coaching. He's not going to do anything that could damage his legacy.
No.
He has to feel really good that he can win. So you had to give him some assurances. And I don't think it's ironic that that lawsuit we were discussing last week that has kind of fallen by the wayside, well, it's about time for us to start legislating that again. And I've always heard that Carolina wanted to be involved in this and that they were telling Florida State and Clemson, we're an ally with you, but you're not a very attractive ally. Bill Belichick makes you a lot more attractive,
mm-hmm.
especially if you can rake in donor money like what SMU did.
Right.
SMU got to the ACC and their donors said, look, we'll pay the freight for 7 years. That's kind of the name of the game.
All those donors in Chapel Hill that have never had a great football program.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we had a good football program. We had the good run with Mack until he left for Texas. And then we had good-ish run, I guess, with Mack. It didn't end the way you wanted it to, but you did go to a big bowl game during this last stretch. You want to be good at some point. And if you're pouring money into the athletics program in Chapel Hill, where are we going to make the money? It's not on basketball.
No.
We got to take the focus off of that. Right. We've got to take the focus off of that. If we're going to be good in basketball, we got to start making money in football where money is to be made. Look at what's happened to these other programs, or these other SEC programs that are now ruling college basketball.
Well, the SEC just wiped the floor with the ACC and the ACC Big Ten or the ACC SEC Challenge.
Right. They have more money to spend than you in football, but now they have more money to spend on you in basketball. So instead of trying to build this thing out from we're a solid blue blood basketball program that now wants to become a relevant football program, maybe we try it the other way. Maybe we pour all of our resources into football first, or at least that's first priority, and then see what kind of bonus we get on the back end on the basketball side, rather than the other way around.
All of the football schools are getting better in basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Look at all the SEC schools. All of the basketball schools are getting worse in football. There's a reason for that. Because basketball can't pay the freight.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like this is an admittance from the administration at Carolina. We have to do something different. And I was hoping this was going to get announced during this show just so I could – because the minute that I see Bill Belichick as the new head coach of the North Carolina Tar Heels, there is something about that's not going to be real in my head until I see that.
It's hard to believe. It's because you've never thought that kind of name would have been out there for you. I don't know who approached who with this idea, but my hat's off to whoever picked up that phone. If it was Bubba Cunningham and he picked up the phone to call Bill Belichick to see if there was any interest, or if it was the chancellor, I don't know. But I give you massive credit for being able to at least have this discussion. Now you got to close the deal. Because this will be probably the last chance you have at being relevant. Because if you swing and a miss on Bill Belichick and you have to resort to Jeff Monken as the next head coach.
He's DOA before he even gets here.
Guess who's coming? Guess what recruits are laying down their commitments right now to come to Carolina to play for Jeff Monken?
Army commits.
Exactly.
Sweet.
That's all you got. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Wet weather from today, tapering off into the afternoon hours. It does stay mild here, not only today, but the next few days. Low 60s today, most of our showers now for the afternoon over, mainly cloudy. Tonight, mainly after midnight toward morning, another round of showers coming in, 45, so well above freezing. Tuesday, some fog in the morning, scattered showers, maybe a late-day thunderstorm, 62. Rain showers may end late as snow showers Wednesday, upper 40s. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Yep, it's a win-win. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
The PayPal app has amazingly low prices for holiday shopping. Get cashback offers in the app, and when you use the PayPal debit card, PayPal stacks 5% more in the monthly category of your choosing on up to $1,000 in purchases. Don't just pay, PayPal.
FEMA funding is available to support repairs on private roads and bridges, even if your primary home is not damaged. Volunteer organizations may also be able to help. For more information or to schedule an inspection, call 1-800-621-FEMA. That's 1-800-621-3362. Again, FEMA funding is available to support repairs on private roads and bridges, even if your primary home is not damaged. Call 1-800-621-3362. As we recover as a community, it's important to help each other. Hummingbird Insurance, as always, is offering free assistance to help you navigate your health insurance options for next year. Headquartered in Asheville, Hummingbird is one of the top-rated insurance agencies in the country. Schedule a free consultation to compare plans across multiple insurance carriers. The enrollment deadline is December 15th. We make it easier than hauling water. Visit healthcaresucks.com. That's healthcaresucks.com.
iHeartRadio is your #1 app for the holidays. Just open the app and search Holiday and start listening now. You'll see your local holiday radio station, plus all kinds of other holiday stations, playlists, and podcasts. iHeartRadio. Free never sounded so good.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
When you get tired of freezing your can at the tailgate, maybe it's time to ring in a new season. Tailgating season. Wherever you are, whatever the forecast, with good old ale, it's the perfect way to kick off game day. From Red Cup Revelry to just kicking it solo, you can't go wrong with Dale's Pale Ale, Dale's Light Lager, and Dale's Easy IPA. Honest ingredients, no BS. Drink responsibly, and we'll see you at the Tailgate.
We are back at the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, live from the Ingles studio, and it's time for the most important message of the day.
Don't do crimes!
And don't be a jackal when it comes to the Christmas season. A Washington State store in Marysville, Washington, got robbed the other night. It wasn't a retail store, though. It was Larry's Plumbing. And Larry's Plumbing got robbed because they had a very festive window display. Apparently Larry, or whoever owns Larry's Plumbing, I'm assuming it's Larry. Apparently Larry is a big fan of the movie A Christmas Story, one of Jeremy's top overrated movies of all time.
It's actually the most overrated movie ever. Because that and Elf. I can't believe anybody ever watches that by choice.
I just watched both of the Christmas Stories again this weekend.
Which is why I don't trust your taste when you say, hey, you should watch this thing. And I immediately go, nope, not watching it.
Yeah. Anyway, the guy, big fan of the Christmas Story movie. And, of course, big fan of the big window display that was at the store, the Gimbals, the store in the movie. So he wanted to create that for his plumbing shop because he thought it'd be fun. Well, he also put a giant leg lamp in the window, and that's what got stolen. Somebody broke out the entire front plate glass window of the store to steal the leg lamp. Apparently, it is a replica of the lamp that it's got to be movie quality because they say it costs $3,000 to replace said leg lamp. It's the Christmas season. What kind of monster steals things at Christmas? Especially steals the leg lamp. It's a major reward.
It's dumb. It's a dumb thing. It's a dumb movie.
It's not, though.
It is. It's dumb. It's just absolutely ridiculous.
Keep saying it.
My story comes from California, and I'm not real sure how any of this is legal, but I'm going to tell you the facts of this as is presented to me. The Tiburon View Homeowners Association in California, 7 homeowners that had a communal little parcel of land. So basically it's 7 tracts, and they all shaved off just a little bit of their tracts in the middle to put a pool and a community center and different things that the people in this little homeowners association can use. Well, when they filed this away with the county in which they live, they put a real tax value of $1 on it. It's not an uncommon practice.
Okay.
It's basically called a land trust where 7 people come together and, hey, we gave this up, but we now all own it. So it's kind of divvied out, but we have to put somebody in charge of running it. So they had a company that did that. Well, the only problem is that company in 2010 moved their offices. They submitted a change of address form with the county assessor's office. But apparently they never got that. So they've been sending the tax bill to the old address for the last 14 years.
Yikes.
Well, the problem is that over the course of a handful of years, they racked up some penalties, some taxes. What happens to land when you don't pay the taxes?
They're going to take it.
But how do they take it? They auction it off on the courthouse steps.
Okay.
They had $625 in unpaid taxes and $981 in penalties. Well, a group called Asset Renew, which, if you use the first three letters of that, says everything you need to know about this particular entity. They bought it for $6,600. It's a freestanding structure with a pool, and there's a couple of recreation area, laundry facilities, and other things.
Wow.
They bought it on the courthouse steps, fair and square. Even though the 7 owners of this, they have an easement on it, which means nobody else can own it. They don't care. They have offered to sell it back. What do you think the price they have determined would be fair for this would be? They bought it for $6,600.
$500,000.
Double it, and you're right. It's $1 million. Wow. For $1 million, I will sell you your pool back. You are the worst kind of people on the planet. The saddest part of this is, in their response to the article that was written and the aforementioned lawsuit, they basically have said, this is what we do. We're gooder at it than you. You better pay us what we want, or we will sell it to someone else. Now, what I have yet to see is how you're going to get past the fact that it's landlocked by 7 people that have an easement on it, so you can't actually access it. These people can't go in it. They have no idea what's in it. There's no right-of-way, because it's surrounded by 7 properties of people that you just stole it from. So basically all you're trying to do, you're like internet pirates that are trying to hijack somebody's information of, we'll sell you your social security number back. Yep, that's exactly what you are. You're jackals. You are, and I wish horrid things upon you. I hope your wife cheats on you with her boss and all the other horrid things that could possibly happen to you, because you are the worst kind of people on this planet.
How did they find that out, though? Like, I mean, when the
county auction,
when the property went up for auction,
so
like, how did they find out?
They would not have known the backstory. They would have just seen that it wasn't worth much, because I mean, grand total, you could have bought it for $1,600.
No, but I'm saying the people that lost it, right? When did they find out that this went up for auction and got sold? When the guy showed up on the doorstep and said, "I just bought this property."
Yep.
Yikes.
Yep, they had no clue, because they had paid an attorney to handle all of this that was paying their taxes on their own homes and this. Well, they didn't get the bill because the change of address never went in to the post office. But California state law says that just changing your address is not enough. You actually have to call the county assessor's office and legally change your address, because not getting your mail is not a reason to not pay your taxes.
Of course not. You know, or you should know, as a property owner, that you have to pay taxes on that property. And at some point, it's incumbent upon you to go, oh, wait, I haven't paid that bill. I need to go find this out.
So all of the steps that they took, they put a real cash value of $1 on this, because it wouldn't be worth anything to anybody else. But it was given a parcel number from the county, which means it's taxed by the county. They had no idea, because they did everything right. It should never have happened. And so now the county is trying to take it back from this group. The problem is that, well, you sold it. So you took their money. They've taken possession. You legally can't force them to give it back.
Precisely. It is the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. Yesterday's games in the NFL. This is an Overreaction Monday. We talked about Josh Allen and how
he's real good.
Real good at football he is.
He is really, really good at football.
Huge win for the Los Angeles Rams to show up, win that game, have it. Look, you didn't have it completely in control, but that last score put it away, right? That last score to Puka Nacua pretty much put it away. There was no way Josh Allen was coming back from 10 down with like 2 minutes to go. 44-42.
By God, he tried.
To me, this says the LA Rams are still relevant. They can still get good teams. Can they be consistent enough to win enough to push the Seahawks? I would probably say so.
I think they are good enough to do that. There is a great chance that you're going to have Seahawks-Rams the last week of the season. Winner wins the division, losers out of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's how this is going to go.
I got the 49ers, the Jets, the Cardinals, and the Seahawks as my final 4 games if I'm the LA Rams. And I feel a far sight better about that team and their postseason prospects, obviously, after the big win over Buffalo. Because if you can beat Buffalo, I feel like you can just about beat anybody.
Well, you need a little help from your NFC North buddies because the next 2 weeks the Seahawks play the Packers and the Vikings. Both of those games are in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
You can get a little leg up from.
I like the odds of them probably being able to take the lead in this division.
I agree because I would say the Packers and Vikings both go into Seattle and beat you.
Mm-hmm. I would agree.
At the very least, one of them does.
Mm-hmm.
That'll give the Rams a chance to catch up that one game, and then it still boils down to that last week of the season.
Yep. My team won one of the grossest games I've ever seen in my life. They take the lead in the NFC South with the win over the Raiders, 28-13. The Atlanta Falcons, we already talked about how they sucked against the Vikings and opened the door for the Bucs to win this division.
They didn't just open up the door. They blew the door off the hinges. Like, nope, we're done.
Mm-hmm.
We're good. Lord, they're bad.
The Dolphins came back and beat your Jets.
Thataway, Jets. Way to be. Look like a competent team for 3.5 quarters. Doo-doo in your pants in the last half. By the way, did you see how open Garrett Wilson was on that last sack by? That's hard to miss.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because Miami forgot he was alive. Like, oh, there he goes. Somebody ought to deal with that fella right there.
And somehow it didn't matter. And the Jets did what they needed to do, which is lose another game.
The New York Jets are 3-10. Their point differential. What would you set their point differential at?
Oh, it wouldn't be much. Most of their games have been real close.
I'll give you a point of reference. New England is 3-10. Theirs is -86. Cleveland is -103. The Jaguars are -107. The Titans are -115. The Raiders are -125.
Mm-hmm.
The Panthers are -155. That's about what you get with 3-win teams.
Yeah. I want to say the Jets are probably at like -42.
49.
Yeah, it's because there's so many close games.
They're 3-10, and their total point differential is 7 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Jets football coming at ya.
But losing the game that keeps you in the hunt at the top of the draft next year.
You play to lose the game.
Mm-hmm. The Pittsburgh Steelers taking care of business against the Cleveland Browns. The Browns did announce today, though, that Jameis Winston is the starter for the rest of the season.
No kidding.
I mean, I guess there was a question that they would turn it over to DTR.
In other breaking news, water's wet and the sky's blue. Thanks.
Do you remember bad Jameis is coming?
After his time at Florida State and then mocking you in his time in Tampa Bay, I have become the Jameis Winston whisperer. If I say I have a really good feeling I know what's happening with Jameis, you should probably listen. Because this year, I'm 3-0.
Mm-hmm. And Jameis was bad again.
Awful.
24 of 41 threw 2 interceptions. He also had a fumble in the game, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He did have a fumble. Well, he recovered it, so I guess he didn't lose possession.
Kadarius Toney lost one, though. And I was today years old when I found out that Kadarius Toney played for the Cleveland Browns.
They signed him on Saturday.
He probably doesn't anymore because he didn't do a whole lot, and in one of his 4 touches, he had a fumble.
Mm-hmm. 49ers beat the Bears handily. You came away with a good take on the 49ers from that.
I wouldn't say it was.
I mean, they were one of your winners of the week, so
they were. I don't know how much that means. Yeah, they're a winner of the week. All right, we got 4 weeks left in the regular season. If we're being really honest about San Francisco, they're still the 11. They lose tiebreakers to the Cardinals, the Falcons. They're a game behind the Rams. They're 2 games behind the Commanders. You would need a series of unfortunate events here that are unlike anything we have ever seen in NFL football to make the playoffs.
Yep.
And I don't think it's going to happen.
You've only got 2 division games left.
You got to win both of you got to win out. So you're going to have to beat the Detroit Lions, which I do not like your chances. And you got to win both those in the division, and I would say you probably lose to the Rams.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's great that you had a warm and fuzzy moment beating up on the hapless Bears. Probably your last warm and fuzzy for the year.
Yeah. All right, tonight is the Monday Night Football capper on Week 14, Bengals and the Cowboys. The Bengals are a 4.5-point favorite. Jeremy, how do you like this game tonight?
Bengals. I think by a good amount.
Over, under 49.5.
Over. And I'm pretty confident Cincinnati's going to be a solid 38 of that by themselves.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like the chances of I don't like the chances of Dallas being able to stop Cincinnati. Look, Cincinnati's not really playing for anything. They're in that same boat that San Francisco is of you would need an absolute act of God to make the playoffs. You lose here, you're eliminated anyway. But you do still have an outside shot if Denver were to just completely fall off the map. The Cowboys are playing for nothing. They've already been eliminated. So I like Jamar Chase tonight. I'm curious to see if CeeDee Lamb's where his head's at after that terrible Thanksgiving game. There's not a lot of intrigue here, but I will take Cincinnati. I'll take the over, and I'm going to watch this and hope the Simpsons thing doesn't make me really, really angry.
Well, you don't have to watch the Simpsons feed.
I'm gonna. Not for the entire game.
Right.
I'll turn it on, and it's probably going to be dumb.
We'll see. At least it's got the potential to bring more interest to this game.
This will be the first time I've watched The Simpsons in like a solid 10 years.
I thought you were a Simpsons fan.
I was 30 years ago. You talk about a show that jumped the shark. They jumped the shark in the Clinton administration. That was a mess of administrations ago. So shocker. I wouldn't care if they did a Baywatch game either.
We'll be here to recap it all tomorrow right here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Join us for a Power Rankings Tuesday tomorrow at noon.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at EnduranceWarranty.com. If you have a 2004 or newer vehicle that's out of warranty or about to be, Endurance is urgently notifying U.S. drivers about their low-cost vehicle coverage plan designed to save drivers thousands on rising vehicle repair costs. Those who qualify can pick their plan, coverage, and repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental cars included. All covered repairs get paid directly to the repair shop for you. Call now for your free quote. Call 800-431-8958. That's 800-431-8958.
Using a Clorox disinfecting wipe to clean that stuck-on sauce from the stove feels like...
Oh, boy. That tickles. Stop.
It feels like coming home to your needy corgi after a long day.
Best part of the day, finally.
With Clorox. Clean feels carefree. Clean feels good. Use as directed.
Christmas.
Hurry, they're gonna be up soon.
When families and communities come together in the spirit of peace on earth and goodwill towards men.
Operation Silent Night and Stone Effect. Okay, we're ready.
At Ingalls, we know that Christmas isn't just a holiday.
Merry Christmas!
It's a feeling to embrace all year long. Ingalls, your neighbor for over 50 years.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks Community Heroes. Like Trent and Doug, whose first instinct was to fill their trucks with supplies and drive to the areas that were hardest hit in those first hours. Like Spencer, who helped build a bridge out of debris to rescue 7 families after the road was washed away. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
Lowe's knows how to save you time and money. Order what you need by 2 p.m. to get it delivered same day. Valid on eligible in-stock orders and select zip codes for same-day delivery. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. More terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.